Sunday evening, the Super Bowl still underway, and a dramatic finish is likely. I'm Rick Williams.
I'm Monica Melpass. The big story at Action News is the championship game right now, 38-33. The Eagles lead. Nick Foles still trying to beat out Tom Brady and the Patriots. We want to welcome our viewers here on PHL 17.
You're looking live as U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis. Again, the game is ticking down. The Eagles have the lead. Action News anchors Brian Taff and Shari Williams are kicking off our live team coverage outside of the stadium.
Brian and Shari, I cannot imagine, but the scene there must be absolutely electric.
Guys, it's insane. 38-33. The last touchdown was under review, but this place just went nuts when the referees upheld that last touchdown. The W is in sight. We can feel it. It's been absolutely insane inside this building tonight. The fans are feeling it.
And how did we know that touchdown happened? Because even out here, we could hear the roar inside from Eagles Nation. Take a look at what we have been seeing throughout this stadium tonight. Eagles fans up and down the concourse, all over the stadium, representing for their team. And of course, many of them talking about what a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this is. They want to be here for this moment. They want to see their birds hopefully close this out in the next, let's say, a minute and a half or so, and bring home that W, Brian.
I got to tell you, every single fan I talked to expressed nothing but optimism tonight. Yeah, it's been a nail-biter, but these fans expect the win.
We're feeling like $1 million. We feel really strong. We feel really good about it. I think the Eagles are going to go and get the W. I think it's a no-brainer. I think if anybody's out there putting prop bets, put them on there. The Eagles, no-brainer. Am I right? Am I right? Let's go Birds!
Unbelievable. Unlike anything I've ever experienced in my entire life. This game's amazing. It's getting a little dicey, but we got this, no doubt. We're bringing it home. This is our year. Believe it. Go Birds!
It's like we can't even breathe. It's just amazing. We're 3 points away. It's right in our grasp. We just cannot believe that it's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen, but it's killing us.
Killing us, the wait, right?
Yes.
We were like, how is this going to end? The Birds, of course, got out early, leading this game. They had the Pats on their heels, and now the Pats are trying to make a comeback, but the Birds answering just now, of course, with that latest touchdown. The two-point conversion was no good just now, so again, the score 38-33, Eagles up.
You may think I'm just staying warm by moving like this. I can't stop dancing. That's how excited it is. That's how exciting it is here. It's been absolutely nuts. We're going to check back in with you guys throughout the night as our live coverage continues, but for now, right outside the stadium in downtown Minneapolis, that's Shari Williams. I'm Brian Taff. Guys, back to you there in Philadelphia. Oh, no, let's go to Sarah Bloomquist, who is live at an Eagles watch party not far from where we stand. Hey, Sarah.
Hi there, Brian. Don't forget about me over here. I'm right down the street. This is nerve-wracking. I can feel myself shaking, and I think the fans feel the exact same way. They want this so badly, as you know. Many of these folks here watching, look at this reaction from Philadelphia fans right now. Holy moly, holy moly. So we've been watching, look at the people just dancing around in this bar right now. They've been running around, unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Here it goes again. They're going to watch the replay. Watch the reaction here. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. So let's go. We've seen lots of celebrations here all night long. Fans saying, of course, they need to stay strong on the defense. Take a listen.
defense needs to step up. They need to start blitzing. They're getting a little conservative, and you need to go for broke. I mean, if they're going to win this game, they need to put it on the line and they need to blitz.
Offense, we're playing well. Defense, we're not getting to Brady. We have got to get to Brady. We have got to put pressure on him.
We're back here live. We're right down the street from the stadium. Eagles fans here are all in. They're just absolutely on pins and needles. The end is in sight. Live in Minneapolis, I'm Sarah Bloomquist, Channel 6 Action News. I'm sure we'll see you all in just a moment. Back to you in the studio.
Hard stopping, isn't it?
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
All right, let's find out more. We have Jeff Skversky here joining us live on the set to talk about the exact moment when number 55, Brandon Graham, appeared to sack Tom Brady. That was key.
Tom Brady with that football with 2 and change to go. They're down 5. You're thinking, oh no, Brady, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is going to do it in a game that has been truly an offensive game the whole way, setting records on both ends. And sure enough, Brandon Graham comes up with the first sack, strips the ball, and rookie Derek Barnett scooping it up. The Eagles now have the possession. We go to the 2-minute warning. They are up at this point 38-33 in control, and just 2 minutes away from their first Super Bowl title.
Yep. You would want the defense with the ball to determine who is going to win this game. I mean, all season long, it has been the defense that's carried this team. So,
and they say defense wins championships. However, in this game, most combined yards, most combined passing yards in Super Bowl history, scores left and right. Patriots take that first lead in the fourth quarter, but the Eagles, as you say, with that defense under Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, they find a way. And the Eagles, again, 2 minutes away from locking up the first ever Super Bowl.
It's been an exciting game, and of course, there's been some offensive plays that we'll remember as well.
Incredible.
As well. All right. Thanks, Jeff. Stand by.
All right, we're going to go to Chad Pradelli live on the streets with us in South Philadelphia along Broad Street. Chad, I think it's coming, Chad. I can feel it. Don't you?
Yeah, Monica. Get ready for the madness if the Birds do indeed hold on and pull out this victory in the Super Bowl. It's looking good so far. It's not over yet, but certainly police in the city are preparing for large crowds out here. Take a look. We're here at 15th and Passyunk, just off of Broad. You can see the trash trucks have been brought in. They are shutting off access to Broad Street, expecting very large crowds. On most over here, you can see some police have that road blocked off. We're starting to see a few people trickling around, but talking to many people all around the region, many people are coming down here to Broad if indeed the Eagles pull out a victory in this Super Bowl. Obviously, the game is still underway. Crews are ready. Police are going to be out in force. They never gave us a firm number on how many officers, but many more than they had a couple of weeks ago after the NFC Championship game. We've talked a lot about over the weekend about the polls. There was Crisco 2 weeks ago, hydraulic fuel this weekend as they prepare for these large crowds to come down. Now, if you are going to be coming down here, police want you to just behave, no violence, keep it under control, celebrate, enjoy the win if indeed the Birds do win, but do not commit any crimes and do not create any chaos. It's going to be a lot of fun out here. We're ready. The city is ready. And now we're just going to wait to see this football game end and then get ready for the crowds. I'm live in South Philadelphia. Chad Pradelli, Channel 6 Action News. Back to you guys.
All right, Chad. Just over a minute and a half to go. Game ticking down, and let's get more reaction. John Rollins is live in the Mayfair section of the city. Cotman and Frankfurt, you were at a house party earlier today. Now you're out on the streets, John, and what's it like out there?
It's quiet right now, or fairly quiet right now. About 10:03 by my watch, you heard this big shriek that came out of several of the bars here. We weren't sure what it was. It was, of course, that interception of Tom Brady. So right now, everybody is sort of like keeping their fingers crossed and are really, really curious about what's going on here. This is this is Frankfurt and Cotman Avenue. This is where folks in Mayfair will come and celebrate, for instance, apparently the end of the World War II, from what I understand, the 2008 Phillies win. Thousands and thousands of people will charge out into this zone. Now, that's what's expected to happen tonight if all goes as hoped. A few early revelers are starting to come down the street there. You might be able to see a few. They are spelling Eagles, as they have been wont to do all evening long. There are lots and lots of police officers around the area to keep things in. All right, okay. Yeah, okay, here's one of the revelers right now. We were in a bar earlier called Real's. Talked to some folks right there. Let's take a look at that sound from them, okay?
NFL Super Bowl, and we're going all the way. It's my birthday gift. Eagles. I want to see share my birthday gift with all of Philadelphia.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John Rollins, and to all the great Eagles fans. We just love your spirit. Love it.
Eagles just kicked a field goal up 41-33. Time is ticking down, and we're starting to feel the victory. Let's go over to Alicia Villarelli, who's been looking at all the fan photos, all the videos coming in from the fans, and we can just imagine what we'll be seeing in just a few seconds from now when the Eagles finally win the Super Bowl, Alicia.
Guys, we are on the edge of our seats here, and we're really just enjoying the pride. People say, can't we just soak in the moment here? The city drenched in green. It is so gorgeous tonight. This has been all about families. Check out these guys here. It certainly runs in theirs. Mommy and Daddy back in 1981 over here, and here's little Luke here in 2018, all wearing their Eagles onesies. This is all about friends, too. Look how beautiful these ladies are vacationing in Florida. Looking good, girls. And people have been taking some pretty impressive videos, and they have also been recording the fight song all around town in all different ways. And we're going to start with this little mashup that we made for you with triplets just waking up from their nap.
Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly.
Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory.
Oh yes, it's electric tonight. Thank you, Brian Fitzy, for that big note at the end. And of course, we're biased, but I think that Giovanna's shirt here says it all. Philly versus everybody. Doesn't it feel like that around here? Everyone rooting for Philly. But again, maybe it's just us.
All right, Alicia.
We love it.
Isn't it so great? I know.
Absolutely.
Right. Less than a minute to go. Eagles up top, 41-33. Let's go live to Action News anchor Walter Perez. He's live at a bar in North Philadelphia with a lot of fans, again, who are just waiting for that clock to finally tick down. Walter.
Rick and Monica, I'm not sure I'm going to survive this experience because we've been so excited. I've been so excited. And when that fumble occurred and Tom Brady turned the ball over, this place erupted. I mean, you could barely hear yourself think. And they're still that way right now, even though the game's not quite over yet, but it certainly seems like it is over. Not much the Patriots can do at this point. Now, a few moments ago, a short time ago, we actually spoke with one person in here whose name is Frank Newbile, who's the quarterback for Temple University. And we asked him about his assessment of Nick Foles' play during this game.
But they're throwing it like crazy with them, man. They have no idea what to do. I assume the Patriots make some halftime adjustments, but, I mean, Foles is killing it right now.
He's absolutely killing them.
Slinging it wrong.
All right, so there's his assessment, and he should know he's a very good quarterback for Temple University. And right now, this crowd is counting down the seconds to wrap up this game, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens afterward. There's a huge police presence outside of the draft horse, and hopefully everyone behaves, but it's going to be difficult to keep this crowd tame because they're very, very excited. A fantastic night. What a night for Philadelphia. What a night for the Delaware Valley. And how about those Eagles? Reporting live from North Philadelphia, Walter Perez for Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
All right, Walter, how about those Eagles?
That's right, the winningest team that has never won a Super Bowl until it appears right now. All right, let's don't get in front of ourselves, but Christy Aletto, live in Center City, Broad and Walnut. You're in the heart of what's about to become the hottest spot in the area. Hi, Christy.
And the rain is cleared out, Christy, huh?
Hi. That's right. The rain is cleared out, but this is probably going to be the party spot in Center City. You can see just over my shoulder, we're overlooking Broad and Walnut, and people are already starting to trickle down into the intersection. Obviously, you can see that there is a heavy police presence. Police are on foot. You also see police over to the side on their bikes, and of course they have the railing. They also put railing I'd say a half hour ago. This is video from a half hour ago. They put railing around the Wawa to protect that business, and they're doing that to a lot of businesses in the area to make sure that those vendors stay safe as people decide to party out here, hopefully safely. Now, of course, they have a lot of safety precautions. There's no parking on this street, and of course, they have greased the utility poles to make sure that people do not try to scale them like they did 2 weeks ago. But of course, you can see just down there that people are taking photos, obviously getting ready to celebrate something that has never happened to this city before. Back to you guys.
History in the making. Christy, thank you very much. All right, we're back here in the studio now. Jeff Skversky is with us. And again, we're all kind of watching and waiting together, Jeff. And it seems imminent, doesn't it?
It's just remarkable is that the Eagles are down to their final 20 seconds trying to come up with a stop on Tom Brady, up 8 points, clinging to an 8-point lead in the biggest game of their lives, seconds away from that first ever Super Bowl. And this city is just going to go absolutely crazy. Generations of Eagles fans in this city have been dying for this opportunity forever. And we're watching the clock count down here in Super Bowl 52 between the Eagles and Patriots. Tom Brady right now has the football, going up against the Eagles defense that came up with a stop of their life on the previous possession. Brandon Graham coming up with the sack and the strip of Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. The rookie Derek Barnett comes up with it, and the Eagles are hoping for one more stop here with just 13 seconds to go in Super Bowl 52.
And who would have ever thought that the combination of a Tom Brady and a Bill Belichick, that famous couple, if you will, who have won time and time again, that we didn't possibly just win the Super Bowl as it appears is imminent. We beat the best of the best.
They're about to beat the best and getting some redemption for Super Bowl 39 in Jacksonville when they lost by 3. Everyone, of course, on pins and needles in that game. Donovan and Terrell Owens coming up short. And for every other Eagles team that came up short in the history of this organization, going back to the 1930s, finally, Eagles fans will be able to say they are world champions and Super Bowl champions.
Just seconds away. And, you know, let's talk about this. Actually has been a tale of two quarterbacks, as we've seen. You had a quarterback that didn't even start the season. And, of course, a quarterback that is a Hall of Famer. And it looks like Nick Foles hopefully be the champion. We're all pulling for him, pulling for the old team. And the underdogs, they've been underdogs all postseason, and now it looks like it's finally going to carry them to the
And they have relished in that underdog role. Remember, Lane Johnson, Chris Long coming out with those dog masks they bought on Amazon.com because they were feeling that opportunity that no one was giving them a chance since Carson Wentz went down in December against the Rams. Nick Foles comes in, and he is undefeated in games he has started and finished, including, hopefully, Super Bowl 52, which has just gone final. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the first time ever. We can sit here and say in Philadelphia, the Eagles are Super Bowl champions, winning 41-33, an 8-point win. Can you believe it?
I can believe it.
Are Super Bowl champs. History in this city. We have been waiting 52 years for this.
10 years ago, Doug Peterson's coaching a high school football team. And where is he tonight?
Now he is coaching the world champion, Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles.
It's been quite a journey, and now it ends with a Super Bowl victory, and we're all very excited.
And
a
Nick
parade
Foles,
in the
who
coming
everybody
days.
thought was going to get out of the business, right?
That's right.
And that's what's remarkable about this. Everyone counted out Nick Foles. Remember, he had those tough games during the regular season down the stretch. In those final few games, everyone's wondering, oh no, how's he going to perform in the playoffs? He comes in, plays really well, especially in the NFC title game against the Minnesota Vikings, lights it up at Lincoln Financial Field. And Nick Foles tonight, not only does he win this game,
he made a reception.
He made a touchdown catch. He is the first player in Super Bowl history to throw at least one touchdown and to catch a touchdown.
Wow.
And that was a gutsy call by Doug Peterson. End of the half. It's a 3-point game, 4th and goal. What do? They get it to Corey Clement, who gets it to Trey Burton, a former high school quarterback, who then throws it over to Nick Foles, one of the gutsiest calls ever made with the biggest game in the world on the line.
Clement had quite a game, too.
Incredible.
Congratulations to the team. Congratulations to the city of Philadelphia. We want to go back to Minneapolis. All right, let's take a live picture to Manioc. to see some of the celebrations? Okay, they're going to start spilling out on the streets. Main Street, Manayunk, and you can see the folks, the celebration is growing. Police are out there as well. But we're going to see pictures like this throughout the evening. Folks just jubilant that their team has finally, does that guy have a Jets jersey on? No, it's just, folks are jubilant that the Eagles have finally won a Super Bowl. Final score 41-33. The Eagles champions tonight.
All right, let's go to Dan Quayer live in Mayfair where things are starting to heat up. And again, Dan, tell us the feeling out there, just how the fever pitch has reached out in the streets of the city. Hi, Dan.
And Monica, what an incredible scene. This town is exploding tonight. You can hear fireworks all over the city. The crowds are starting to really grow here at Frankfurt and Codman. They spilled out of the bars, in particular Real Sports Bar, which had a capacity crowd there of over 200 Eagles fans, all hungry for finally a Super Bowl victory for these Eagles teams. They believed in this team. They had confidence in this team. They really believed that this team could do it, and this team delivered. And just look at them out there tonight. Let's let you listen. Just listen for a few seconds.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. Let's go live now to Action News reporter Vern Odom, who is in Runnymede tonight with more of...
Tears of joy!
Super Bowl champ.
This crowd here in Runnymede, New Jersey, at the Philadelphia Sports Bar has been on an emotional roller coaster ride throughout this evening. The ups and downs. You can take a look at some of the footage of this lead eventually changed hands and things like that. And let's talk to some of these jubilant fans here. They've been a wonderful crowd. You can hear them. Sir, you've been very emotional throughout this game, and what are some of your thoughts?
It's from my boy Jay, who passed away last year. That was buried in his McNabb jersey. This one's for you, Jay. Number one, baby. We're gonna party all night with Vern and Odom.
Thank you. Your thoughts,
How you doing?
This has been a very emotional roller coaster ride here.
Yeah, yeah. It's been very emotional. It's a long way, rough season. We won it.
When we lost that lead in the fourth quarter, a lot of people stayed with it.
I was scared. Everybody in here was scared, man. But we did it. Big season, big team. Go Eagles! That's how we do.
You can feel the vibes here. The fans very happy. They had a feeling this team could make it, and they indeed did, despite the emotional roller coaster here. Vern Odom, Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
Yeah.
We're here in Minneapolis at a bar right down the street from the stadium. I'm here with all the elated fans. Ladies, this is unbelievable, isn't it?
It's incredible. No one believed in us, but we believe. Amazing game. One of the best Super Bowls ever, I think.
Fantastic, right down to the wire. Look at these fans here. Chicago. This was nerve-wracking, wasn't it?
Very, to the end. Very nerve-wracking. Yeah, yes.
You're like a sweaty mess here.
Yes, very anxious, very anxious. But they came out on top. Crazy game.
Oh. So exciting, right? So exciting. Great game. How great was it to be here with fellow Eagles fans in Minneapolis watching?
Absolutely fantastic.
Amazing.
Not a better place to be.
Yes, exactly. This bar, crazy atmosphere, amazing fans. We came here, we saw this, we were like, yeah, we're sold. It's great.
It got very quiet here for a little while at the end, right? It was scary.
It came down to the last play. Definitely. The Hail Mary there.
Definitely. I mean, we were all nervous, but at the end of the game, like, we were all anxiously waiting to the end, and it was inevitable, but Eagles won.
Eagles won! The celebration is underway here in Minneapolis. This bar is open till 4 in the morning. No doubt those Eagles fans will be flooding out of US Bank Stadium and coming here to celebrate. And Action News will be here. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you Sarah, and to borrow a page from Prince, who was memorialized tonight, halftime show. They're going to party like it was 1999
Absolutely.
in Minneapolis. All right, back here, let's go live to Allie Gorman, who is at CityWorks in King of Prussia, where the celebrations continue as well there. Hey, Allie.
Hey, Rick. Yeah, it was just an absolute roller coaster of emotions. But, of course, now the party continues. We have Stephanie here. Steph, what did you think?
I thought it was amazing. I can't believe they won. I'm so excited.
Tell me about kind of your whole reaction afterwards.
This place is rocking.
Yeah, I know nothing about football, but this is amazing.
Yeah, and you guys, we've got fans over here that actually have an Eagles flag. Every time the Eagles scored a touchdown, they were running the entire route of the bar around here with the flag. Of course, hearing tons and tons of the Eagles chant over and over again. Just a lot of really happy and excited people here in King of Prussia at CityWorks. That's the scene out here. A lot of very, very happy Eagles fans.
All right, thank you, Allie.
Prussia.
Thanks, Allie. Looking great. Now let's take you back to in the crowd now, right? 5 minutes ago, only a couple people now, hundreds and thousands of people flooding onto the main street, another heart of the city, and they are beyond ecstatic, as they should be.
Main Street, Manayunk is rocking tonight. You know, it's more than jubilation, it's history. This is history for the city of Philadelphia. The first Super Bowl championship to come to the city of brotherly love. So there is reason to celebrate tonight, and thousands of people already gathering on Main Street in Manayunk, as well as throughout the city at this hour.
I love the irony that a backup quarterback beat a veteran quarterback, but interestingly, Tom Brady himself was a backup at one time who won. So it just comes around, doesn't it?
It was David and Goliath, to be sure, and in this game, David won. And again, it was that whole underdog mentality that took them through a postseason victory over Atlanta, then Minnesota, and now over the New England Patriots.
Even the odds makers said 2 weeks ago we couldn't do it. 3-point underdogs plus. This time, 5-point underdogs plus. It just goes to show you sometimes the experts have no idea how to calculate what passion will do, what heart will mean, how it translates when you think it, you want it, you feel it, and you can't imagine anything but being a winner.
All right, Eagles, Super Bowl champions tonight. Super Bowl 52 belongs to Philadelphia, and we are continuing to show you all the celebrations that are exploding throughout the city and in Minneapolis. Let's go back to Brian Taff and Shari Williams outside of the stadium as the game is over. Eagles fans pouring out of there, obviously very, very happy and heated up despite the cold weather there, Brian and Shari. Huh?
Oh my gosh, you better believe it. I've got my hand warmers in and my foot warmers in. I don't need any of it. My blood is hot right now.
We are pumped, you know. We're just running on the adrenaline, being inside to see that clock go down to 0, and then to know that it's the Eagles on the side of that W, getting the victory tonight. They said one game is all we got, one game is all we need. People in the streets of Manayunk, Philadelphia, going crazy as we take a look at the celebration happening back in the Delaware and Lehigh Valley.
You know, this is the image so many people have waited so long to see play out on the streets of Philadelphia. We talked to countless fans all week long as our coverage ran up to Super Bowl 52, and all of them talked about how much this meant to them, to their families, to their friends, their kinship with this team and their connection to the players this year, and what a special squad this was. And yet here it is, the moment has arrived, and the fans can barely contain themselves. They're in Manayunk, here in Minneapolis, where they have not even left the stadium yet. Right now, it's just a whole bunch of very sad Patriots fans.
Yeah, and, you know, they're leaving quietly. They put up a fight, but the Eagles just put up a tougher battle. They really went down to the wire. They came out strong. They finished strong. So, no, we're not really seeing many Eagles fans out here yet because that trophy presentation has to be made. So this is just the Patriots. They've been there, done this. Of course, we know they have a number of Super Bowl wins and a number of Lombardi trophies. But now it's the Eagles' time. This is their magical moment. This is their Super Bowl. They are now in the history books. And I mean, it's just exciting. And I'm not a player, right? We're just fans.
We're just fans,
team, right?
Yeah. Don't shed a tear for the Patriots tonight. They've done this, as you just said, a whole lot of times. This, as you said, is our moment to shine in the national spotlight. Philadelphia needs this so badly. All right, I'm being told we have another picture now, an incredible scene
From our chopper, Frankfurt.
From our helicopter. Oh, yep,
and,
that's right, over Cotman. And as we expected, this would play out. It's happening once again. A huge crowd gathered right there tonight. And we can safely expect that this will play out for the rest of the night, if not several days in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, over and over again in our interviews leading up to this, fans literally said, we need this. I mean, they use the word need because this fan base has just been itching for a night and an opportunity like this. And here it is. It's come around again. This is their third Super Bowl appearance, and they'll be able to say they now have a new storyline in their history.
Listen, I'll tell you what, there's no place I would have rather been than where we were tonight watching this game with our own eyes unfold.
It was wonderful.
And yet all of a sudden I'm jealous of the folks back in Philadelphia because I want to be on the streets with you guys tonight running and getting crazy. So listen, have fun, be safe, don't be stupid, just have a lot of fun and celebrate this spectacular moment. Guys, we'll come back to you as soon as Eagles fans start to leave, but as you know, there's a trophy presentation, so they probably don't want to leave before that happens.
Not just
but
yet.
We'll see you real soon from this spot in downtown Minneapolis, guys.
All right, guys, we'll be back to you in Minneapolis. Back here in the studio now, we're joined by Jeff Skversky, and if I can do a little bit of sportscasting, the Eagles were the first to score. They went into halftime with a 10-point lead. Brady starts coming back, folks getting nervous, but now we're celebrating, and you even got the swag. You got the
You're pretty good. I don't know why I'm even here.
Very well.
Pretty good.
What do you have?
Go. Look at this.
Check that
Hot
out.
off the presses.
Woo!
The Eagles are Super Bowl champs.
What size is that?
This is a large.
Okay, good.
Not going to fit me. Large, and we have the Eagles
Check it
Super
out.
Bowl championship hat. Hot off the presses.
Gotta put that on.
Can you believe
Come
it?
on.
The Eagles. I'll let you do it, sir.
I'll let Monica win.
Yeah, man, I'll do it.
For the first time, we can say the Eagles are champions.
Woo!
Congratulations.
In the Super Bowl era.
All right.
Love it. Go team. We love you, baby.
All right. Monica.
The birds are crazy cool, man.
All right. Thank you, Monica. Ad-lib for Monica all night. All right, but the celebration's continuing. The excitement here in the studio is building as well. It's been a great game, a nail-biter of a game. We kind of expected a nail-biter, didn't
It's a one-point game in the fourth quarter. The Eagles are down. They're down with Nick Foles at quarterback. If anyone were to tell you that Nick Foles would be down 1 to Tom Brady and the Patriots in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl, who's picking the Eagles? Everyone outside of here doubted the Philadelphia Eagles. But in the end, everyone doubted this team. They find a way to get it done time and time again. They were underdogs in this game, and they love it. Now they are champions.
And they're asking, who let the dogs out? Philadelphia let the dogs out.
All right, Monica, she's having a good time. Talk a little bit about, while we have this time, talk about the journey, which started about a year ago with free agency, then the draft, and then, the preseason, and then some of the injuries. And now we're going to go live to Broad and Walnut as we look again at celebrations building all these folks out here. But what a journey it has been, Jeff, from just about a year ago when this team started to come together.
And I'll take you back even before that. Remember the moves that Howie Roseman made when he regained power, from Jeffrey Lurie. They hired Doug Peterson. He brought in player after player. After Peterson, they bring in Jim Schwartz. They bring in all sorts of players, including Carson Wentz.
All right,
we're
going to sorry to interrupt you, Jeff. We want to take you live to Center City, though. Broad and Walnut, Christy Aletto in the heart of where the city has gone crazy in the nicest way. Champion people are out there partying. Hi, Christy.
Hey, Christy.
Hey there, Rick and Monica. Yeah, just right after they won, Broad and Walnut literally became this huge mosh pit. Hundreds of people just started swarming here at the intersection down here in Center City. And just a couple moments ago, right before you guys came to me, we saw some guys. I'm going to have Chris pan up a little bit because the guy is still in the window. But this gentleman and two other men actually came out onto the ledge and started cheering. And obviously it's not safe because he's coming back out. All right. So this guy and two other people were outside standing on this ledge. This is clearly dangerous because there's no railing there. The police have already spotlighted them with a flashlight and told them not to come out. But this is clearly dangerous because I don't know if he's under the influence or anything. Obviously, he's very excited. Oh, there we go. The police have put a flashlight on him. Again, this is the second warning that they have given this gentleman to come back in. We've just heard some fireworks down here. And also, Chris, pan down to that. You see that on that ledge? That gentleman has climbed onto that vestibule. So we have a gentleman that's now scaled on top of this vestibule. Police, bike police, you can see have put a flashlight on him. This is a ledge right here. he's still scaling. So obviously some people are not following the rules here, but a lot of excitement down here in this crowd that you can see. Hundreds and hundreds of people have flocked to this intersection. There's a heavy police presence here, police on foot patrol, police on bikes, wanting to make sure that people celebrate safely. Obviously, we pointed out 2 gentlemen that are not, but of course, a lot of excitement here. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you, Christy. And as we continue to look live there in Center City, you know, police were emphasizing all week that they would hope that the celebrations would be safe. We're seeing some scenes now that aren't necessarily that, but we'll continue to monitor the situation. And as Christy mentioned, police are out in force to make sure that despite the jubilance, despite the celebrations, everyone gets home safely and without being in harm's way.
We've been saying all along, is it destiny versus dynasty? And clearly destiny won out. So many people have all along have been saying it's the Birds' year, it's our time, and we would not be denied this time around. And clearly that is exactly what happened. Even in the moment when people drew their breath, fearful that it might not turn out in those last few minutes, didn't it turn out? And that Lombardi Trophy is coming to Philadelphia.
All right, let's go live now to Action News reporter Dan Cuellar, who is in another section of the city, the Mayfair section, another huge scene of celebrations. And Dan, can you hear us there?
Yes, Rick, this crowd has grown exponentially. There were easily 25,000 people out here at the intersection of Frankfurt and Coppin. They are exuberant, waving Eagles flags, cheering as loud as they possibly can. It is such a beautiful scene to see all of Philadelphia coming together, celebrating such a great victory for our Eagles team. You can hear them chanting down there, Eagles chants. There's fireworks going in the distance. Everything is so beautiful to see this large crowd here, Rick and Monica. It is wonderful finally to see an Eagles team win the Super Bowl.
All right, Dan, quick question. If you can hear us, we just talked to Christy Lato, who was in Center City, and talking about how the police are out in force trying to keep things calm. Are you seeing much of a police presence there in the Mayfair section of the city?
There has been a large police presence here since we got here at 2 o'clock this afternoon. By that time, shortly thereafter, they started blockading the intersection of Frankfurt and Coppin with large city garbage trucks so no traffic could come through. So it's really just people, and people are really behaving themselves. You do hear fireworks in the distance, but mostly everybody's orderly. There hasn't been any fights, nobody doing anything crazy like climbing poles or throwing beer bottles or anything like that. And you see families out here, you see women holding their babies, fathers holding their babies. It's just a celebration. I mean, this city is in a celebratory mood, and you're clearly seeing it here tonight in droves of people just having a blast.
All right, thank you, Dan. We're going to keep talking to you for a moment, but we're looking for Chopper 6 Live. This is North Broad Street facing south. Thousands and thousands of people also pouring into the streets in just an electric atmosphere. And this will be one of those nights when people ask years from now, where were you when the Eagles won it all, when we became Super Bowl champs? It will be a family memory, a tradition no one can forget.
And I will say, I'm sitting in the studio. Sitting in the studio next to Monica Malpass, who has her Super Bowl hat and T-shirt on. But as we look live over the scene, let me bring in Jeff Scaversi, because we just found out Nick Foles is the MVP of this game. Well deserved, right, Jeff?
Unbelievable storyline. You could not write this thing, because you remember, you go back to Carson Wentz getting injured against the Rams. Nobody believed in Nick Foles, but you go back to what he did years ago for the Eagles. Had that remarkable season. He comes right in and nails it. Undefeated since taking over for Carson Wentz in games he has started and finished. MVP tonight, 3 touchdowns, 373 yards against the Patriots, including that game-winning touchdown in the final 2 minutes, 2:21 to go, to Zach Ertz for the Eagles to take the lead for good. And here we are, Eagles fans parading in the streets, and we're going to have a big one in just a few days.
Chip Kelly didn't give him much credit, and that turned into something that almost led Nick Foles to leave the business of football.
Remember, Chip Kelly traded him away.
Right.
He gets traded to St. Louis. He loses his job in St. Louis. He's thinking about walking away. Andy Reid gives him another opportunity in Kansas City. He then comes here, comes back to where he was drafted, where he's familiar, backing up Carson Wentz. He helped Carson Wentz, remember, prepare for every single game. And even though Foles was hurt during the preseason. He was there by Carson Wentz's side, helping him prepare game in and game out, waiting for his opportunity. And boy, did he run with that opportunity or what. Never for a moment did Foles or anyone else within that Eagles locker room doubt him. And here we are tonight. Of all people, Nick Foles, your Super Bowl MVP.
Wow.
And it's remarkable because next season, he may not even be your starting quarterback in week 1.
Isn't it incredible?
When you think about how many injuries the Eagles had sustained during the season, and now look at where we are tonight as, again, Chopper 6 over the scene of so many celebrations. Let's go back live to Action News reporter Christy Aletto, who is in the heart of Center City with more on what's going on there at Broad and Walnut, Christy.
That's right. It is a beautiful sight here at Broad and Walnut. Clearly, this is the place to celebrate in Center City. Once the game was over, dozens, hundreds of people just started flooding, swarming the intersection. I mean, you can just see the massive crowd here of fans, obviously police, but a lot of people just very jubilant, trying to celebrate something that has never happened in this city ever before. Obviously, a heavy police presence. Police have blocked off a good portion of the surrounding intersections. The barricades are up, and they really just want people to celebrate peacefully, responsibly. We've seen some knuckleheads out here do a couple of things that they shouldn't be doing, but for the most part, people are pretty, I'd say, hyped, but they're doing it safely. I mean, this is something that hasn't happened ever, so obviously you can understand why so many people want to be out here. This is a shared experience, and wow, what a beautiful sight. Back to you guys.
It's almost like New Year's Eve.
Absolutely.
But this is our New Year's Eve here in Philadelphia.
What a gift.
All right. Shall we go to, who are we going? Deuces Rogers?
Guys, you got me?
Yes.
Deuces Rogers on the field.
All right. I think I just lost my earpiece, but that's okay. We are live on the field at US Bank Stadium where the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. Holy cow, the place is still going nuts. They wrapped up the trophy ceremony maybe about 5 minutes ago, and as you can tell from the crowd, I'd say a good 65 to 70% of the crowd still in this building, still celebrating this improbable run that the Eagles made, 41-33 over the heavily favored New England Patriots. Of course, Nick Foles named the MVP, 373 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Here's a guy who almost quit football, but was signed as the Eagles as a backup, took over for Carson Wentz in that LA Rams game at the end of the season, and he has led the Eagles to their first Super Bowl victory. I don't know if you can see, there's still confetti falling down on the far end of the football field. The players are celebrating. We were in the tunnel when the clock hit 0 with the players' families. They absolutely erupted. And then this was a cool moment. Vice President Joe Biden walked by us, spotted our cameras, and he let out a "Go Eagles." He had a grin from ear to ear. This is certainly a victory for everyone to celebrate. Once again, the Eagles, they defeated the New England Patriots, 41-33. They led most of the way, but with 9:22 in this game, Tom Brady led the Patriots back. They took a 33-32 lead, and that's when you were kind of feeling like, uh-oh, what may happen? But the Eagles were able to come back. Zach Ertz, who had a couple costly penalties in the first half, came back and scored a touchdown to put him up 38-33. And then Jake Elliott, the rookie kicker, he was picked up off the practice squad from the Bengals early in the season, kicked a 46-yard field goal to make it 41-33. And then the defense, Brandon Graham, what a year he's had. He might be the defensive MVP of this team. Came up with that strip sack, and that sealed the victory. We'll get some live players for you in just a moment. For now, let's send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Deuces, we'll be back to you momentarily there in Minneapolis.
All right, taking you live now, Chopper 6 over Broad and Mayfair. And again, thousands upon thousands of Philadelphians thronging into the streets. And just euphoria is sweeping every corner of the city from neighborhood to neighborhood. Families pouring out with small children and elderly people every age. This really cuts across every dynamic part of the city. And people just love this. They have wanted this for generations, and now they've got their Super Bowl.
It's great for the city because we are partying together. We are celebrating together. A lot of folks might call out tomorrow, but as for tonight, the city is coming together, celebrating one thing that we have been trying to get for 50 years now. I remember in Jacksonville 13 years ago at the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Such heartbreak with Donovan McNabb and T.O. Tonight we're celebrating all as one. One city in celebrations here, Philadelphia. Super Bowl champions tonight. 2018.
And the perennial winners, seemingly, the New England Patriots, just assumed that, they knew Philadelphia was a tough opponent, but because they've won so many times and resoundingly won, not a squeaker, but really killed it so many years, they've got rings for every finger, seemingly. And this year, they don't get the rings. It's our team getting them.
Tom Brady, the oldest quarterback at 40 years old to ever start a Super Bowl, in the opportunity, has the ball, an opportunity to beat the Eagles and beat that defense. And we talked about it as soon as they won, the defense. You talk about defense winning championships, and sure enough, Brandon Graham coming up with the play of his life, getting the first sack all night on Tom Brady, stripping the ball away, and Derek Barnett, the rookie, drafted this year, comes up with the scoop for the Eagles to seal it. Just a remarkable, remarkable finish for your Philadelphia Eagles. Finally, Eagles fans, you've been waiting for this for 52 years. Your Philadelphia Eagles are champions, winning the Super Bowl tonight. Unbelievable. The Eagles running with this underdog theme since Carson Wentz went down, but Eagles fans like Mike Trout believe in the Birds. End of the first. Nick Foles throws it up. Alshon Jeffrey, unbelievable catch, 34 yards. His third of the playoffs. Eagles up 9-3 after one. And Bradley Cooper, no acting needed. Eagles fans are fired up. Second quarter, Eagles looking to knock out the Patriots. Malcolm Jenkins among the players drilling Brandon Cooks. Tom Brady's top receiver knocks him out of the game. A huge turn of events. Eagles hit harder on the scoreboard. Midway through the second, LeGarrette Blount, the former Patriot, 21-yard rushing touchdown, his 11th in the playoffs, most among active players. 15-3 Eagles. Bill Belichick trying to figure out what's going on here. After Foles throws an interception, Tom Brady and the Patriots answer. James White, 26-yard score, capping a 90-yard drive. Eagles lead cut to 3. Eagles up 15-12. Birds answer. Foles to Corey Clement, the kid from Glassboro, New Jersey, undrafted. How about the giddy up? Look at him go. 55 yards down inside the 10. Later on the drive, 4th and goal, play of the day. 38 seconds left. Go. Doug Peterson, the gutsy call. They go. Unbelievable play. Watch Foles. Pretends to call an audible, ends up running out, direct snap to Clement, to Trey Burton, the former high school quarterback, to Foles for the touchdown. What a call, what a play. High fives all around. Foles the first in Super Bowl history to catch and throw a touchdown. Eagles up 22-12 at the half. And here we go, third quarter. Patriots come out of the half, come downfield and score. Brady to Rob Gronkowski, most tight ends ever, most touchdowns by a tight end in playoff history. Patriots within 3. Eagles answer. Foles a beauty. Back to Clement. Somehow, some way gets in. Watch his feet closely. They reviewed this play as to whether or not he had control of the ball. It ends up being a 22-yard score. Clement over 100 yards receiving, second running back ever in the Super Bowl history to do that. Eagles back up 10, but back on the Patriots. Chris Hogan, 26 yards. Through that defense, the most combined yards and passing yards in this game. Eagles up 29-26 after 3. Fourth quarter, unbelievable finish. The GOAT, Tom Brady, back to Gronk, who makes the catch, another touchdown. Patriots take their first lead. Ronald Darby, nothing he could do there. Eagles down 33-32. Down 1. All the pressure on Doug Peterson and Nick Foles here. Down 1, 4th and 1. 5 and change to go. Foles to Zach Ertz, barely gets it. We pick it up. 3:20 to go. Foles threads the needle to Nelson Aguilar inside the Patriots 25. Then 2:25 to go. 3rd and 7 from the 11. Foles to Ertz, makes the catch, dives into the end zone. They review it. Is it a catch or not? You know what's happening. It's a touchdown. The Eagles take a 38-33 lead. Can you believe it? Julie Ertz can't believe it. She's stunned. Then Tom Brady with 2 minutes to go. Sack. Brandon Graham knocks it free. Derek Barnett, the rookie. The Eagles defense rises to the occasion. The Birds add a field goal, go up by 8. Final seconds, last prayer. Not happening. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the first time in team history. The long-awaited drought is over. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy. He bought the team back in 1994 for $185 million. People thought he was out of his mind for doing it. Even he started to believe maybe he was crazy. But tonight, he is a winner, winning the first ever Super Bowl, a championship this city, this town has long coveted.
And we deserve it. Thank you. We're going to go back to
Absolutely.
Minneapolis. Brian Taft, Shari Williams outside of the stadium where the celebrations are still continuing as Eagles fans starting to pour out now that the trophy ceremony is over. Let's go to Shari. Hey.
Hey, Rick, Brian's back here also.
I'm stuck in here somewhere.
We're just swarmed with Eagles fans as they just celebrate this win. Now, this is Melissa from Franklinville, New Jersey. Melissa was just explaining about what this means to you and your family.
My dad passed away right before the football season started, and I know he is in heaven.
She's a champion.
Just so happy, and so am I.
It's an emotional time for Eagles fans. We've seen so many tears tonight.
Yeah.
It means a lot to you.
Yeah.
Guys, we did it. We exercised the demons, huh? What's this moment mean for you?
Oh man, this moment means the world for me. All Eagles fans, my entire family. Rest in peace to my brother Diggum. We love you, man. You see this? E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
We're going to hear a lot of that chant. Young man, you were just talking about you can't believe it, that you just don't believe you just witnessed this victory, this Super Bowl win.
Honestly, these guys back here, we've traveled to over 5 away games this year. We go to every home game, and the fact that we saw the resilient Eagles come back from a dynasty to do what they just did means so much for this city. It means so much for everyone right here. We are so happy. Let's go!
The enthusiasm, it is just taking over this stadium, Rick and Monica. Brian and I are doing our best to hear you because this is awesome. We're in the middle of it all. Rick and Monica, back to you.
I can't even
What a
get
great birthday gift. He just turned 50 this week, and I think he will never forget the feeling of what he had tonight and this week in its entirety. All right.
Congratulations to the team and the
Yes.
city. All right, let's go back live now to
Dan Cuellar.
Dan Cuellar in the Mayfair section of the city where the crowd continues to grow and the celebrations continue to build. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Rick, man, oh man, this crowd is showing no signs of receding. In fact, it continues to grow. I have a feeling this could very well turn out to be an all-nighter. Now, these people have so much energy, so much exuberance, so much joy. It's just an incredible scene to see here at Frankfurt and Cottman, here in the Mayfair section. These folks, I was here back in 2008 when the Phillies clinched the World Series. It was a similar celebration. It went on and on and on. And I have a feeling this one's going to go on and on and on. You can just see the party-like atmosphere. Yes, we did it! Yay! The crowds are out here waving at us. We're on the second floor, so we can get a good view of the crowd. But man, I'm telling you, it is so much celebratory scene out here tonight. You can hear them chanting the Eagles chant. What a great scene tonight here in Philadelphia. Rick and Monica.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a live picture now. Let's go back to Main Street Manayunk. Are we going to take that shot? Show you more celebrations?
There it is.
There we are, Main Street Manayunk. When we first showed you, there was just maybe a half a dozen people out there. Now look at the crowd.
Wow.
Again, it continues to build. The excitement growing as well. As we just take a look at the jubilation, it is history as we are looking at not just a celebration of a Eagles Super Bowl championship. This is history, the first championship for the city of brotherly love. And folks can't get enough. You know, we talk about the generations of people.
Right.
You know, the people who are talking about their grandfather, their fathers who would would love to see this. We are seeing it, we are relishing in it, and it is just a great thing for the city tonight.
Absolutely. You know, the mayor did not want to announce any possible parade plans for fear that it would give Coach Bill Belichick something to rile his team up with, because that's exactly what happened one other year, and he felt like the superstition of that, if you will, may have cost the city a championship in another circumstance. This year, they said, we're not saying when or if there will be a parade. Of course, they had plans quietly underway, but they would not announce anything. Not a day, not a time, not a place, nothing. And guess what? Now the parade is being planned and finalized tonight. You can go ahead and tell everybody soon, Mr. Mayor, because they're bringing that trophy home.
You know, it's funny, the school district put out a statement today that schools will be open tomorrow despite whatever happens tonight. But right now, a lot of folks are going to be getting to bed late.
The green flu, right?
If at all tonight. And it is a well-deserved victory for the Eagles. Let's bring it, Jeff Skversky. You know, we were talking about this journey that the Eagles took, and against all odds, so many injuries, losing their MVP quarterback, and it has come to this. What an improbable journey. What an improbable victory tonight.
Not only losing your quarterback.
All right, let's go to Peterson. We're going to go to Coach Peterson.
You know, I knew that we were going to have to score a touchdown in that situation. You know, a field goal wasn't going to be good enough. Not against Brady and the Patriots, and you know, so we stayed aggressive. You know, Nick made some outstanding throws. Guys made some plays for him. Nelson, you know, Ertz on the touchdown. I mean, just play after play. Guys really stepped up tonight, and just had to get a touchdown in that situation.
What's it like home that you game like that?
You know, it kind of felt like, you know, whoever had the ball last, you know, could win this game, and you know, we were just fortunate enough to put ourselves in position to really to end the game with that drive, you know, for the touchdown, and defense stepped up and did a nice job to finish it for us, and so happy for them. The touchdown. Oh, the 4th and 1. You know, that play we've been working on for the last couple of weeks, and just needed the right time, right opportunity, and guys executed it brilliantly. Probably the last 3 weeks, maybe since the postseason started. Yeah, I'm so happy for Nick. You know, a lot of people, a lot like this football team, a lot of people counted him out and didn't think he could get it done. And, you know, I believed in him, the staff believed in him, the players believed in him. We just needed time. We needed time together to work out some things. And you know, this whole postseason, Nick has shown exactly who he is and what he can do and what he's capable of doing. He's well deserved of the honor, but I know that he would give credit where credit's due, and he had a lot of playmakers tonight make plays for him on both sides of the ball.
Doug, you've been in the aggressive play call around here now. Does this kind of game make you want to get more aggressive?
You know, I take it week by week, but you know, I trust my players, I trust the coaches, and you know, I trust my instincts. I trust everything that I'm doing, and you know, I want to maintain that aggressiveness with the guys. And, you know, in games like this against a great opponent, you got to make those tough decisions that way and keep yourself aggressive.
It was surreal. I'm still kind of in shock right now of everything. The confetti, seeing the emotions on all my teammates' face, and then really realizing what we've done and accomplished. Special. This is so special to be the first ever to bring a Super Bowl to Philadelphia and to be a part of it. It's a dream come true for me, man.
Like you were part of it, you really changed that offense, your running style. How much did they welcome you, and what has that been like since you came?
Yeah, it was. I just wanted to have the team embrace me for who I am as a person, who I am as a football player as well. The running back room, they embraced me. I wanted to challenge them as well. We have a competitive environment in there of wanting to see each other succeed, at the same time pushing each other to be the best that we can be. That starts with our running backs, Coach Deuce Staley. And I think that showed tonight through all the running backs that played in this game. Everyone played a part, from LeGarrette leading us, Corey with all those big plays, even Kenyon on his returns giving us great field position. Just to see where I've come from, the journey. God is the greatest. I'm so thankful to be on the Eagles. I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I was given. I'm so thankful for my teammates for embracing me, and I'm so happy to be a part of something special. Everyone dreams to be in this seat and to be a champion, and I can say, even when I'm gone, I'm a Super Bowl champion, and this is the greatest feeling in the world. I think we were just so aggressive as a team, and we wanted to stay aggressive. We didn't want to take our foot off the gas pedal, and I think that we did that tonight. We showed who the Eagles were. A lot of talk was that we're the underdogs, but in our minds, we still believed in who we are and what we can do, and I think that showed tonight.
This is Jim Gardner, and you are watching Action News.
There was no doubt. We knew that on the offense that they couldn't stop us tonight. Whatever we were going to do, we were going to execute. We were going to keep our foot on the gas, and we weren't going to let up until the clock said 0, and we did that throughout the game.
Can you talk about Nick? Because he had a...
Yeah, I mean, this is, that was a hard-fought game. I mean, New England's a tremendous team, one of the greatest quarterbacks and coaches of all time. And just for us, it's the team all year, just fight till the end, just keep leaning on each other. And that's just what this season's been about. That locker room is a special locker room, and you could see it throughout the course of this game. No matter what happened, we just kept sticking together, kept leaning on each other. We have an amazing coaching staff, amazing personnel staff. I mean, just to be in this moment, unbelievable. Yeah, that was something we've been working on, and Doug and I were talking. I was like, let's just run it. It was a good time, and the end was a little wider than I thought, so I was like, I really need to sell like I'm not doing anything. And it worked. Trey made an amazing throw, right on the money. I just looked it in. And we've repped it for a while, so I was excited to get it run and in the Super Bowl. Good, how are you? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we talked a lot this last week about, a couple years ago, there's a time where I was thinking about hanging up the cleats, and, I think as people, we deal with struggles, and that was, a moment in my life where, I thought about it, and, I prayed about it, and, I'm grateful that I made the decision to come back here and play. I wouldn't be out here without God, without Jesus in my life. I can tell you that first and foremost. I don't have the strength to come out here and play this game like that. And that's a everyday walk. We have struggles as people, and that's just been my rock and my family. I didn't get to see Tom. I was looking for Tom. It got pretty crazy really fast. He's one of the greatest of all time. Guy does it right. He's been unbelievable. He was unbelievable tonight. Can't say enough about him. You said last year was so relaxed tonight from the start. Can you just talk about that? Yeah, I mean, I felt good. I mean, you never really know what it's going to be like when you're going to a Super Bowl. I've never been here before, so there are normal nerves. You got butterflies. I mean, it's a big game. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this. But I felt good. I felt calm. I think the big thing that helped me was knowing that I didn't have to be Superman. I have amazing teammates, amazing coaches around me, and all I had to do was just go play as hard as I could and play for one another, play for those guys, and not look at the scoreboard, not look at the time, just go out there and play. Don't worry about it. And came away with a victory.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Jim Gardner.
Eagles fans, your long nightmare is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Let's say that again. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. In an extraordinarily entertaining game, the Eagles defeated the New England Patriots by a score of 41-33. That gives the Eagles their first Super Bowl ever and their first NFL championship in 58 years. When it ended with Tom Brady's Hail Mary pass batted around for what seemed like an eternity before it fell to the turf. Game over. And the scene at Frankfurt, make that City Hall in Center City, Philadelphia. The crowd extending up blocks from City Hall. Eagles fans beginning to celebrate. The crowd is still building at this and other locations, as we just mentioned, Frankfurt and Cottman in the Mayfair section of Philadelphia. We will survey other parts of the city over the entirety of this broadcast. Pretty big crowd developing in Center City, Philadelphia. It is Sunday night, and the big story on Action News tonight, the Lombardi Trophy going to the good guys tonight. And what a moment it was when owner Jeffrey Lurie held up the trophy to the euphoric delight of Eagles fans at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis and everywhere. For owner Jeffrey Lurie, who unsuccessfully tried to buy the Patriots and then went to a plan B, the Philadelphia Eagles, this is the ultimate victory. We have a total team effort going on here for Super Bowl coverage tonight. Center City, Mayfair, the suburbs. Of course, we're spread out to show you everything there is on this historic night. And let's begin where the party is underway along Cottman and Frankfurt Avenues with Action News reporter Dan Cuellar. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Jim. What a celebration we have going on here at Frankfurt and Cottman in the Mayfair section of Philadelphia. No sooner did the Eagles clinch the Super Bowl that this crowd, a sea of people, just started flocking onto the intersection, jumping out of bars, jumping out of their homes, just coming young and old, parents with their children. Everybody celebrating something they've been wanting to do for generation after generation after generation, wanting the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And listen to them. The dam finally broke. They got their wish tonight. They had a belief that this team could do it after they saw how this team played 2 Sundays ago when they beat and slaughtered the Vikings. Man, they said this team could do it. Now look at them. Look, listen. Jim, this is something akin to what I saw in 2008 when the Phillies clinched the World Series. We had much the same kind of celebration here. Jim, I have a feeling this is going to be going on for many hours yet to come into the wee hours of the morning. Back to you.
All right, Dan, let me ask you a quick question. Of course, police have been concerned that there be decorum at Frankfurt and Cottman. We have seen in past years some untoward things break out. What about the behavior of the fans, the partiers tonight?
So far, Jim, the behavior, except for a few exceptions where some knuckleheads started popping fireworks in the middle of a crowd, that's not cool. But other than that, the crowd has been orderly. It has been a joyful crowd. The police have been out here for most of the day. They had a large police presence for most of the day. They began blocking the streets, Frankfurt and Cottman, with large trash trucks, so you wouldn't have any cars here. Anybody trying to climb on cars, there's no vehicles on the streets. Just one big sea of people just having the time of their lives. They're having a ball tonight, Jim.
Thank you, Dan Cuellar. Let us switch to South Philadelphia. Action News reporter Chad Pradelli at Broad and Wolf. Chad, what's the situation there?
It's getting nuts, Jim. We're here a block off of Broad. Broad is going bananas right now. You can see the crowd is starting to gather right here. They're excited. They're enjoying this win. Behind them, they got the trash trucks that are blocking traffic to Broad. Now, I want to show you some video from Broad Street. This was about 5-10 minutes ago. Fireworks are going off. People are dancing on the trash trucks that is blocking traffic, waving flags. You've got people of all ages making their way down here to South Philadelphia to enjoy this Eagles victory in the Super Bowl. This town is hyped. Cars everywhere, driving around, people hanging out. We saw one lady actually fell out of a car right on her head. She was okay, fortunately. All sorts of people have been driving, honking horns, celebrating, hanging heads out of the windows, and just having a festive time down here in South Philadelphia. Like Dan mentioned, you have a few people that get a bit out of hand, but for the most part, it seems most fans are doing it the right way. They're celebrating, they're not doing anything criminal, and they're just celebrating in a good old-fashioned way. Obviously, this party's going to go on 4 hours, it appears. It doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon. Many of the people down here that are beginning to make their way down to Center City and City Hall. Obviously, that's an area of major concern. You got a lot of beer flying. We were getting sprayed by Southern Comfort. We're a little wet over here, but hey, we're enjoying it. The Eagles won, so what can you say? We're having fun, they're having fun, and it's going to continue for several more hours. I'm live in South Philadelphia, Chad Pradelli, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
Thank you, Chad. Let's go to Action News reporter Christy Aletto, who is staked out at Broad and Walnut in Center City. Christy, the situation there.
Well, Jim, we have a bird's eye view. Take a look at this crowd. It might be an all-nighter for folks out here. The party is still going strong, and why not? They're Super Bowl champs. In fact, we're waiting to get a crowd estimate from police, but just by eyeballing it, looks like the crowd continues to grow by the half hour, and this is just a massive, massive crowd celebrating at Broad and Walnut. Clearly, this is the place to be in Center City, and wow, what a shared experience it is for all of the fans who have waited, in some cases, a lifetime for this. Now, there is a heavy police presence here. The surrounding roads around the intersection have been blocked off to give people a chance to celebrate. They have barricades, and they've also greased up the light poles, which hasn't stopped a couple of people from scaling them. So they're asking people that are down here to just be safe and celebrate responsibly. But again, given the sheer size of this crowd, I think it's safe to say that a lot of people might be calling out tomorrow. But again, you can see this is a massive crowd from our chopper cam that you can see that it is just spanning several blocks down here on Broad Street. I mean, fans are really, really just savoring this moment and just enjoying history being made in their city. Jim, back to you.
Let's keep that picture for just a minute. This is Broad Street. It is extending the crowd from City Hall, blocks to the south. A lot of people now congregating on Broad Street through the Avenue of the Arts, and you'll see it thin out for a little while, then it gets concentrated again. Thousands and thousands of people now massing on Broad Street in Center City, Philadelphia. And of course, there's a party going on up at Temple University. Action News reporter Walter Perez is at the Draft Horse tonight with students and North Philadelphia Eagles fans. Hey, Walter, what's going on?
Jim, before we go any further, I got a question for you guys. How does it feel to be world champions? Oh my goodness, Jim. There was a big crowd. Now hold on a second. You can't jump in front. There was a huge crowd of people that were walking north along Broad Street a short time ago. It happened right after the game ended, and the celebration has continued ever since. A very strong police presence in the area, but you know what? People have been great. People have been very cooperative with the police. I'm getting pushed around a little bit, but it's not bad. And people really just enjoying the feel of what it's like for the first time in franchise history to be Super Bowl champion. You know, Jim, you know as well as I do that there are other towns that celebrate their teams. You have Boston, you have Chicago, you have places like that. but no one lives, breathes, and dies with their teams quite like Philadelphia. And the fact that this happened now, the way it happened, has people absolutely elated. Now, I want to ask you a question. Come here. Honestly now, did you ever think, hold on, did you ever think that the Eagles would actually win a Super Bowl?
No, I didn't think that we was going to win, to be honest, and I'm from Philadelphia, but free Meek Mill, for real.
And the other question is, can you believe the way they did it?
Yes, I do.
It was amazing. Did you guys enjoy the game? Was that something else? My goodness, Jim, the atmosphere here is incredible. The party's going to go on for quite a while, and we'll be here with them. Reporting live from North Philadelphia, Walter Perez, Channel 6 Action News.
Thank you, Walter. We're going to take a live look at what's going on at Cotman and Frankfurt in Mayfair. The crowd continues to grow. The party continues to be fun. Everybody continues to act the way they should. And it's just a great time. Hey, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl. I'm sitting next to Jeff Skaversky, who is preparing his highlight package, and we're going to talk football in just a few moments. But this is just, it's just undescribable.
The city and this team are waiting decades.
For a long time.
Decades, 52 years for the Super Bowl.
You know, live inside US Bank Stadium is Action News sports director Deuces Rogers. And Deuces, so many of the crucial plays that are now part of Eagles lore, we'll be discussing them for days, but I want to know, you were on the field, I want to know what the experience was like for you.
Incredible, Jim. Incredible. This game was a microcosm of this season for this team. The word that comes to mind is resilience. They lost virtually an all-pro team in terms of players that got injured this year. We're talking Carson Wentz, Darren Sproles, Jason Peters, Jordan Hicks, Chris Maragos. And in this game, at 9:22 to go in the game, Tom Brady tied this game with a touchdown, and it seemed like things may not go their way. They weren't able to sack Tom Brady at all until the final few minutes when Brandon Graham came through with the strip sack, and then the rookie out of Tennessee, Derek Barnett, recovered that ball. And granted, they still needed a field goal to put the game out of reach, but that pretty much sealed the deal. Speaking to a lot of players here on the field just moments ago, they are excited. I don't know if official plans have been released for the parade. If it hasn't been, they released it. Vinnie Curry said on Wednesday they're going to be partying like crazy there in Philadelphia. We also spoke to Jason Kelce in his 7th year in the NFL. Finally got to the Super Bowl, finally won the Super Bowl. Here's Kelce after the game.
It feels awesome, and I'm so happy. I mean, this city's been waiting for it for years. I've been waiting for it for years. Brent Selleck's been waiting for it for years. Jeffrey Lurie's been waiting for this, and it's been a storied organization. The fact that we're just now getting this, it's been a long time coming.
You've got so many people back in Philadelphia watching this. What do you think is going on back in the city?
Well, hopefully they're not destroying it too much. We got a parade coming up down Broad Street, but I'm just happy. I mean, I'm imagining that they're celebrating pretty good right now.
So many people outside of Philadelphia didn't believe in this team this year. What do you say to all the fans that did stick with you guys this year, and they always believed?
I mean, we have the best fans in the NFL. We have the best home record the last 2 seasons for a reason. When our fans are there, they make it known. Today we had, I mean, you could tell that it was an electric crowd. We had more Eagles fans here than the Patriots did by far. It wasn't even close. And, I mean, the fans have been a huge reason why we've been so successful. And, I mean, it's evident when you look at all that.
We talked to you this week about you don't know when you're going to get this chance. To be this far in your career, get this chance, has it even sunk in you're a Super Bowl champion?
It's still sinking in, I guess. I mean, you know, you work so hard to get to this moment. It's so hard, even if you're healthy, to get to this moment. And the fact that we've been able to overcome everything, the fact that we've been able to overcome injuries, overcome a quarterback going down, overcome our best offensive lineman going down, overcome our middle linebacker going down, best special teams player. We got a leadership council that consisted of 9 guys at the beginning. 5 of the 9 are out. And it's a testament to the organization. It's a testament to the coaches that they've assembled guys who are able to go in. And then it's a testament to this team to be able to stay together and fight and just keep moving.
I got a crazy stat to pass along. Tom Brady threw for over 500 yards. He had 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. It's the first time in NFL history, regular season or postseason, that a quarterback has put up those kind of numbers in a loss, if you can believe it. Of course, the offense of the Eagles was able to get it done. That play call by Doug Peterson to throw the tight end pass from Trey Burton to Nick Foles for a touchdown, that took a lot of guts. Trey Burton, people may not know, he actually played a little bit of quarterback when he was at the University of Florida. That certainly worked out. Speaking to some defensive guys here tonight, they said they ran that play in practice. It worked like a charm. They knew at some point Doug would call it, and he did. Let's go ahead and listen to more sound right now. One of the captains on defense, Malcolm Jenkins.
I can't wait to get back to Philly, man. This is going to be a celebration like no other, and I can't wait to join it.
I mean, this moment, we all worked for it, not just one person, but I got a moment to share with my teammates right now.
Hey, Corey, take the Channel 6 mic for a second, then I know you grew up watching. Tell this camera how it feels. Tell this guy how it feels.
Oh, it's a blessing. No, follow your dreams and see what you can get. Follow it.
At the end of the day, we just had to believe in our coaching. You know what I mean? That's what it came down to, believing in coaching, believing in each other. Because at the end of the day, man, you know, Tom's a great quarterback. Can't take nothing from him. Every time the ball leaves a guy's hands, you hold your breath a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, he's that special of a player. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's our turn.
Spoke with Lane Johnson, the right tackle of the Eagles. Of course, he was suspended for a lot of last season. I believe it was 8 games after testing positive twice for a banned substance. This season was a bit of redemption for him. I spoke to him. He's extremely excited, extremely proud of his team. But here's the thing. Earlier in the year, he said that if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, he's going to buy beer for everybody in Philadelphia. Well, then Bud Light tweeted him and said, they'll take care of the tab. I don't know if Bud Light was expecting this, but Lane says if Bud doesn't come through, he will come through. So there's going to be some kind of party in Philadelphia. Not sure exactly when, but it's going to happen soon. As you hear the craziness going on right now, Rich, if you can get a shot, there's the MVP of the Super Bowl, MVP of Super Bowl 52, Nick Foles, a guy who was almost out of football a couple years ago, now Super Bowl champion. Jim, back to you.
Thank you, Deuces. We want to take another look at South Broad Street, Center City, Philadelphia. It begins, I'm not exactly sure where this crowd extends to. Maybe someone could help me. I know it goes all the way to City Hall.
We are feeding in a, Jason Marasini got a one-on-one.
We're still listening to some, inside baseball, behind the scenes from Deuces Rogers. But this goes up to City Hall, and it extends far below Broad and Walnut. So it's probably 5, 6, 7 blocks. Is that correct? Someone tell me. Which would make it thousands of people already enjoying their party on the streets of Center City, Philadelphia. Look at that shot from Chopper 6. It's going all the way down.
The parade has already begun in Philadelphia.
In a sense, that's exactly right. That is the voice of Jeff Skversky. A couple of plays you immediately think of course, that trick play at the end of the first half that everybody is talking about, but also the play by Brandon Graham that takes the ball out of the hands of Tom Brady before he can get the pass off. Maybe the play, clearly, that turns the game around.
It's the only play where the Eagles were actually able to get to Tom Brady. And of all the guys, Brandon Graham, a former first-round pick, nearly run out of town, wasn't getting a lot of playing time for years and years and years early on in his career. He makes the play of his life tonight, stripping it free from Tom Brady. And Derek Barnett, the rookie, coming up with the grab as the Eagles seal the deal in Super Bowl 52. And it's hard to believe we're even sitting here talking about this, but finally the Eagles fans, you have been waiting 52 years to say it. The Eagles finally, yes, are Super Bowl champs. To say it, to hear it, it gives you goosebumps. Nick Foles and the Eagles with one of the most unlikely seasons and one of the most unlikely wins in Super Bowl history over the Patriots. Eagles are champs. What a fourth quarter. Here come the Patriots. What a finish in this game. Eagles up 3, but Tom Brady to Rob Gronkowski. What a remarkable catch. Somehow gets in there, and all of a sudden the Eagles are down 1. Nick Foles Doug Peterson, what are you going to do? What are you going to dial up? Down 1, 4th and 1, 5 and change to go. Foles to Zach Ertz, barely gets it. 3:20 to go. They continue the drive. Foles to Nelson Aguilar, who comes up big all season. They're inside the 25. 2:21 to go. 3rd and 7 from the 11. Foles to Zach Ertz. Eagles back in front. They review it to make sure it's a touchdown. He holds on. His wife loves it. Tom Brady, with still over 2 minutes to come back and try to take the lead. The Eagles take it away. Brandon Graham knocks it free. Derek Barnett, the rookie, recovers. First sack of the Super Bowl on Brady, who threw over 500 yards. The Hail Mary, you know what happens. Unreal. The Eagles hang on to win, 41-33, second most points in Super Bowl history combined. The Eagles are Super Bowl champions for the first time tonight. It is hard to believe watching this for Nick Foles, Jeffrey Lurie. This is not acting by big Eagles fan Bradley Cooper. This is a celebration tonight in Minneapolis in Super Bowl 52. The misery is finally over for Eagles fans and this city. The dark cloud over this team is over. And Jeffrey Lurie, who bought the team in 1994 for $185 million, finally hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy tonight. It is the Eagles' first championship since 1960 and the first Super Bowl trophy for your Philadelphia Eagles. Nick Foles, Jim, getting Super Bowl MVP tonight. 373 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, and let's not forget about the touchdown at the end of the half, that gutsy call by head coach Doug Peterson. Do you kick it? Do you go for it? Not only do they go for it, but they go for it in a manner which we have never seen in Super Bowl history.
Clearly. You talk about Jeff Lurie buying the Eagles from Norman Brayman. Paid $187 million, and everybody thought he overpaid for this franchise.
Even he thought he was crazy at that point because he was hearing that he way overpaid for this franchise, and he saw the conditions at Old Veterans Stadium, and sure enough, he has turned this into a Super Bowl champion finally, and what a scene here in Philadelphia tonight.
Yeah, and police carving a path. Is that what's going on down on Broad Street? As Chopper 6 getting a bird's eye view of what's going on down on South Broad Street in Center City, Philadelphia. Police want to make sure that there is a path open. Dangerous to have a crowd fill up a space, and there was much talk about this when the Pope visited Philadelphia. Dangerous to have a wide space like this with no path in or out in the case of emergency. So police are trying the best they can to create some kind of an egress through this enormous crowd. Let's go to Minneapolis and our tag team duo of Brian Taff and Shari Williams. We have enjoyed your reports so much during the course of the week. Have you had a chance to talk to Eagles fans? Their generations-long dream has finally come true.
Thank you, my friend. We've had so much fun filing these reports all week long. You know, fans are streaming out of US Bank Stadium right now. It took them some time. As you imagine, they didn't want to give up the seat from which they bore eyewitness to history here tonight. These fans so excited to be in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is the moment that Granddaddy talked about. And Granddaddy talked to Daddy, and then Daddy talked to his son, and Grandmama and little girl and Uncle, and on and on and on. And tonight they can claim victory in Super Bowl 52. And we've got some fans here with us right now.
One person is claiming responsibility for this victory tonight. He is Monsignor
Francis Malone.
Monsignor Francis Malone, a Catholic priest who says you did a lot of praying for this team.
Listen, not only did I do, but 650 of my students at my school who are actually anticipating that with the victory, they had no school tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see.
And the Monsignor already has, check this out, the official, who had the championship hat? The official championship hat. And you live in Bryn Mawr.
Bryn Mawr, yes.
And so what's it like for you to be here with your friends and your family?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Just so happy for the Eagles organization and Coach Peterson and Nick Foles, you got to hand it to him. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Father, so much has been made about the spirituality of this team. We know Carson Wentz and a lot of the guys get together for a regular prayer group, and this really seems like a close-knit type of group. And I wonder if you can reflect on that. What makes these guys so special?
I think they got it right. They recognize that all the talents they've been given, all the abilities they have, are all gifts from God. And by what they have done throughout the season, especially what they did tonight, was to give them thanks in return.
All right, I want to know of this group who's been crying. I've seen a lot of tears tonight. Tears of joy. Tears of joy, no doubt.
It's such a wonderful moment, Jim. I think in so many ways this team is so reflective of this city. We always perceive ourselves as being overlooked.
Yeah.
And we always think of ourselves as the underdogs. Well, guess what? As of tonight, Philadelphia can no longer be called the underdog. This city and this team are on top of the world tonight, never to be the underdogs again.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys.
Jim, the celebrations are still happening here. We're just grabbing people as they come and go. I mean, people lingering around, just taking it all
As you
in.
might guess, all the Patriots fans left rather quickly.
Yes, they did.
The Eagles
Quietly
fans
and quickly.
lingered to watch this trophy presentation and the MVP presentation. Of course, that going to Nick Foles, just such a special guy. And now they're all heading out to watch parties.
We'll see you on Broad Street.
Yes.
We'll see you on Broad Street, guys. All right, Jim, we'll send it back to you at the studio.
All right, Jim.
Want to go back? Who would want all this joy, for sure. Thank you, Shari. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Brian Taft. And we're going to switch live to Sarah Bloomquist, who has spent this entire week outdoors for some reason. For some reason, on this night of all night, she's indoors at the Town Hall Brewery, where she watched the game with a lot of other Eagles fans. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Jim. Hey, this indoor thing is overrated. Honestly, I'm happy to be inside tonight. We're here at the Town Hall Brewery in downtown Minneapolis. These are folks who are at the game. They've now returned here back to this bar to celebrate. Rich, you were there in the stands. Give me an idea of the atmosphere.
It was crazy. You would have highs and lows, and you panic, and it was just unbelievable.
To be here, why did you need to be here in Minneapolis? How did you make this happen?
Bucket list. You season ticket holder, you go to every game. This is what you go for. You wait for this.
How does this change the whole narrative for an Eagles fan?
I don't know. Well, we have Doc. This was all for Doc.
You need number 2, baby.
That's it. Number 2's
I
next.
heard you talking to another fan, and you guys were like, what are we supposed to do now?
I know. Next, number 2, right. New Dynasty.
New Dynasty.
New Dynasty.
All right, Donna, you're from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. You were there tonight?
Yes, we were.
Tell me what the atmosphere was like inside US Bank Stadium.
Unbelievable. It was like, I'd say, first person that climbs the grease pole, I'm buying shots.
How does this change things forever for an Eagles fan?
It does. I went to the first Super Bowl. I will be at every one. Yes, and this is our first of a dynasty.
You were saying in those final seconds and minutes, you were just...
Oh, I had my back was all stressed out. My daughter was all stressed out, but God, we've got a victory.
You said you went to church this morning.
Yes, I did. At St. Cecilia's in Minnesota and prayed with this priest, Father Jonkus.
Yes.
And he wrote the song on Eagles Wings, and I told him we were going all the way.
So much fun, right?
Amen.
So what are you guys going to do now? Stay up?
We're going to stay up all...
No.
We're going to Disney?
No, we're going to rewatch the game.
All right.
We'll be here until they kick us out.
All right. Me too.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
All right, Jim. A lot of Eagles pride here in Minneapolis tonight. They are celebrating just blocks away from the place where the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Back to you.
Thank you, Sarah. Now go find an outside location so we can get you there for your next report. All right, we have our first obvious problem of the night. This is Broad and Walnut. Is that right outside? Is that right outside the Bellevue? I can't tell. But obviously there's been a bit of untoward roughhousing as a car has been flipped over on its side by some Eagles fans who certainly went one step too far. The vehicle surrounded by police, so no one is going to get to it anymore. But our first, yes, that is right in front of the Bellevue, correct. Our first problem of the night. Otherwise, so far, so good. Let's go to Frankfurt and Cottman in Mayfair, where Action News reporter John Rawlins is taking a look at things. John.
Hi, Jim. Well, I'll tell you, it's been quite a scene here right now. We're sort of standing out of the way because you do tend to attract a lot of attention if they know we're on television here. But this is Frankfurt and Cottman. It has been, for the most part, excited, an emotional crowd, well-behaved. Certainly no problems reported that we know of as far as damage to any property. There have been some fireworks fired up here. There are thousands of people here. We're down sort of on the first floor or the ground floor of it, so it's really hard to tell exactly how many people here, but as far as we can see, there are people, and they continue to come into this area. Now, some folks have been here in the first hour or so and have decided to go home, but a lot more people are still pouring in here, and they seem to be enjoying themselves. People are friendly. They're happy. They're certainly happy to have a win in the Super Bowl, but there are a lot of people here, and they I got a feeling this is going to go on for much of the night. They seem to be powered by quite a bit of happiness as far as fuel is concerned, and they're enjoying themselves. So this is the situation as we take a look at it outside. We were able to talk to a few of them earlier. Let's see if we can roll that tape.
I'm ecstatic. My body's shaking. I'm so excited for Philadelphia. This is a great time for us. We deserved it. We had the better players.
It was a back and forth game, though.
Awesome game. Very good. Edge of the seat, but we won it.
Well, that was some of the folks from earlier. As we say, a lot of people continue to sort of pour into this area. The police had shut it down. They have it's cordoned off. There's no traffic in here. That's a good thing. They created sort of a giant pedestrian mall, and happy pedestrians have come back into this area and are enjoying themselves. You take a look as we pan left right now, if you can. You can see some of the people as they continue to come up Cottman toward the intersection of Cottman and Frankfurt. And that's pretty much the situation here in Mayfair. John Rawlins, Channel 6 Action News. Back to you, Jim.
John, thank you so much. Christy Aletto now standing by again in Center City, Philadelphia, with a good view of Broad and Walnut. Christy, what can you tell us from there?
Well, Jim, we're actually now looking down Walnut Street, and we can't even see how far this massive crowd extends to. But I'm going to have Chris focus on this car that has been flipped over on its side. It's now being surrounded by Philadelphia police, the Bike Police Patrol. This happened about a half hour ago, and you can see that their celebrations must have clearly gone a step further than it should have been. A heavy police presence has been down here at the intersection of Broad and Walnut all evening, really trying to encourage fans to celebrate peacefully, responsibly. Obviously, this is a clear indicator that that has not happened, but for the most part, aside from this car that has been flipped over on its side just in front of the Bellevue, people are really trying to take in the moment, take in the scene, have this shared experience with one another, with the exception of this incident. Jim, back to you.
All right, that'll teach someone not to valet their car in front of no, that's a terrible, terrible joke. It's obviously not funny. But other than that, we're doing pretty good. Action News reporter Annie McCormick is staked out with the crab fries crowd at Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia. Annie, what's it like there?
Well, Jim, right now, all the people that were here are now out on the streets. Those shots that you see, Christy and Dan and everybody showing right now, that's the crowd that was here at Chickies and Pete's. Right now, it's pretty much clearing out. But I have to tell you, those moments that we spent with fans as they watched those final seconds, as they watched the review of that final touchdown, to see the anxiety and the jubilation in their faces was just absolutely phenomenal. At the point when they were reviewing that touchdown, literally there were people that were praying out here. I don't know if we have that video that we can go to right now. I don't know if they have that ready for us or not, but I have to tell you that it was absolutely amazing. Now, people here actually at Chickies and Pete's, the day after they found out that the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl, they started selling out tables here, and so people within that one day actually all sold out. You can see behind me the group that is still left here. They still their Eagles pride, still excited, and they're the ones right now that are responsibly enjoying their celebration at this point. So, but the moments leading up to finding out that the Eagles won the Super Bowl here, to be with all of these people was just phenomenal. There were people that were hugging, people kissing. In fact, one couple got engaged, Jim. We also have that video too. I don't know if we have that. We can show it to you. But at this point, just an absolutely phenomenal night here at Chickies and Pete's. So that's the latest here right now. Hopefully all those people that have left Jim are being responsible and are being enjoying themselves responsibly in the streets. But that's the scene right now here at Chickies and Pete's. Back to you.
I want to know one thing, Annie. Did you enjoy yourself there watching the game with all those folks?
I did. I have to tell you though, like my stomach was sinking towards the end. I mean, everybody, it was like we were all in it together. And I'm not even kidding you. People were literally on the ground with their hands together praying that touchdown was going to be a legitimate touchdown for the Eagles. There were tears in people's eyes. There were families that came together here because they wanted to have experience in Philadelphia. So absolutely phenomenal night. I have to tell you, I wouldn't want to spend it anywhere else but here at Chickies and Pete's in Philadelphia because it was very much an amazing experience.
Annie McCormick, thank you very much. Action News' Alicia Vitarelli is our social media sideline reporter tonight, gathering reaction from athletes and celebrities and, of course, you, the fans. Alicia, what do you have?
Jim, this is the kind of picture that just about tells the story right now. Yo Philly, championship. It's the story of heart, of grit, the so-called underdog that you were really rooting for. And to that end, here is Sylvester Stallone right there in Minneapolis cheering on the win. You know, he has been right there with the Eagles from the beginning. This is going to be a very late night for a lot of kids as they take to the streets with their families because, yes, this is a family story at the heart of all of it. And, you know, a lot of kids just kind of watching the fireworks from their bedroom windows tonight. Here's a little snippet of some of your celebrations, starting with one taken from a Center City high-rise where it pans the entire city as it erupts in cheers.
Fly on the road to championship. Fly, Eagles, fly. We got the beats today.
Okay, we have our videos in reverse here, but that is one of our many fans who has taken some liberties with the Eagles fight song tonight, changing the words on the road to victory, on the road to championship. Do we have the other video of the celebrations? All right, we'll bring it back to you in just a little bit. But you know what, Jim? Let me tell you, you know how we had these 6ABC underdog masks you could print right from our website, 6abc.com? People are scratching out the under and changing it to top. I think we're going to have to get a new file for you guys to print. No longer the underdogs, the top dogs.
Can I get my mic? We are the top dogs of the National Football League. That is for sure. Philadelphia, top dog, NFL. It all sounds pretty good, Jeff Skaversky. Once again, we are looking from Chopper 6, and, you know, we're seeing some stuff that we don't necessarily like to see. There's some smoke, don't know exactly what that is from, but it is a massive crowd in the area of Broad and Walnut. We say Broad and Walnut because it's a convenient intersection, but this crowd extends far south from Broad and Walnut and far north all the way to Philadelphia City Hall. It's a generally responsible crowd. What bothers police, what concerns police, is that there is no way in and out of that crowd. There is no path. There is no open egress as such. And that makes police nervous. It did during other events in Philadelphia where there were massive crowds. Most recently, Pope Francis's visit to Philadelphia, and police made a very clear and specific strategic move of putting vehicles in places that created paths in and out of these very dense and massive crowd spaces. They're having problems with that tonight, or so it would seem, and that makes police nervous. And you are looking at Philadelphia City Hall, the crowd going right up against the building on South Broad Street. And, you know, it is an extraordinary night. And it looks like the crowd is, by and large, behaving very responsibly, with that exception in front of the Bellevue. A lot of dancing going on, and with good reason. Should I go to Vernon Odom? All right, we're going to go to Dan Cuellar, who is back at Frankfurt and Cotman in Mayfair, and the party goes on there, Dan.
That's right, Jim, and I'll tell you what, this crowd is showing no signs of letting up. There's easily 10 to 20,000 people gathered here at Frankfurt and Cotman, and I'm sure that social media is being saturated with all sorts of videos and pictures, because you see all the cameras, people rolling. Among the highlights, I saw a woman with a large sign that said, "Who's the underdog now?" And I just had to laugh, because I know that's what's on a lot of people's minds tonight. That's what a lot of people are saying after they saw this incredible team with this incredible victory. Yuri, pan down to the guy with the Lombardi fake trophy. He just got his own, he made his own Lombardi trophy there that the Eagles won, and bringing home to Philadelphia to this ecstatic Eagles fans. Listen to them, Jim. Here we go. See what I mean, Jim? They're not going to go to sleep tonight. I don't think anyone's going to get any sleep tonight. I think they're going to be up all night. Back to you.
Dan, we can make the point. We can make the point, Dan, that while this is primarily a local party for the tri-state area, and we are proud of that, for years, the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, we're going to see Deuces Rogers there for a second, so let me talk to Deuces. Can Deuces hear me? Hey, Deuces.
I can hear you.
I was about to make the point that for years, the Dallas Cowboys were America's team, and other teams, other fan bases in the National Football League just got sick of that, and I get that. But right now, the Eagles are, in a sense, America's team, because if you didn't live in Boston, if you didn't live somewhere in New England, you were rooting for the Eagles tonight to beat the evil nation, the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Everybody respects the Patriots, everybody respects Tom Brady, but everybody wanted to see them lose. And so, in a real sense, the Eagles tonight are America's team, and, you know, that's delightful.
I would probably add in the Dallas or Texas area, they're probably rooting against probably both teams, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're right. Tom Brady's already got 5 of these rings. Some people are probably sick of that Patriots dynasty, that I guess the arrogance of Patriots Nation. And listen, the Eagles were an underdog for every single game in the playoffs. They were a 4.5-point underdog coming in this game. They win the game by 8. They pretty much led the entire way for only a few short moments in that fourth quarter. They did not lead, but they ended up winning this game 41-33. This team, whether you're from Philadelphia or not, you have to respect what this team has done. We've mentioned it in pretty much every broadcast. They lost so many players to injury. They had a head coach who was ridiculed last year when he was hired. Their front office has gone through a lot of changes with the Chip Kelly experiment that didn't work out. But this team now a Super Bowl champion. I mentioned Doug Peterson, Howie Roseman, those two guys as happy as anybody once this game was over.
Champions back in Philly, they're going nuts.
I'm so happy for the fans. I'm so happy for our city, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're looking forward to a big party in Philly.
What's this feel like right now? Explain it to the people back in Philly. I mean, wild.
It's the best feeling football-wise I've ever had in my entire life. It's pretty sweet.
This is Action News Sports Sunday, sponsored by Audi.
Welcome into Sports Sunday. I'm Deuces Rogers, live in Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium, where, if you haven't heard by now, you're going to find out. The Eagles win their first Super Bowl 41-33 over the New England Patriots. It was, in my opinion, one of the more exciting Super Bowls you'll ever see. The Eagles led most of the way, and then in the fourth quarter, Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does. He led the Patriots back. They actually took the lead 33 32 with about 9:22 to go. But then the Eagles came back. Zach Ertz had a touchdown to make it 38-33. Ertz had a couple of costly false start penalties in the first half, certainly making up for it there. And then the big stop. The Eagles could not get to Tom Brady. They knocked him down a couple times, but they could not get a sack. Their very first sack comes with about 3 minutes to go in the game. It was a strip sack by Brandon Graham. What a year he's had. The rookie Derek Barnett out of Tennessee comes up with the football. Then Jake Elliott hits a 46-yard field goal to give the Eagles an 8-point win, and they win this game 41-33. What an exciting game. You can still see people still on the field. There's confetti, streamers all over the field. Once again, the Eagles, your Super Bowl champs. It's kind of surreal to think about, guys. Jim?
All right, Deuces Rogers, thank you so much. We're going to go back to Action News reporter Dan Cuellar at Frankfurt and Kottman in Mayfair. Dan, if you can hear me, tell me what the situation is like.
Sorry, I had no direction on what I was going to next.
Jim, welcome to Eagles Nation. This city is bleeding green tonight, and they are not showing any signs of going to bed, wanting to leave. They look like they want to be here all night. I mean, think about it. This is the first time the Eagles have won the Super Bowl. They've wanted this. They've longed for this. They dreamed of this moment. They could taste it. They felt this team could do it, and you can just see it in their exuberance here tonight. Listen to this crowd once again here at Frankfurt and Kottman. Yes, friends, this is Eagles Nation tonight. A very happy, celebratory crowd, and it looks like they're going to be here for a while, Jim.
And so it goes at Frankfurt and Kottman in the Mayfair section of Philadelphia. The party continues both here and in Center City, Philadelphia. We say Broad and Walnut, it's a lot bigger than that. We were in South Philadelphia before, a smaller assembly there near Broad and Wolf, but substantial. But it does seem that Broad Street, I'm not sure how far down it goes. Does it go down to South Street? I don't know. I wish we could find that out, how far that sea of people extends, that river of people extends from City Hall, how far south it goes, because that would give us a real good picture of what's going on in Center City. It'd be interesting to know. Maybe someone could help us with that. But here at Kottman in Frankfurt, this is really the, I guess the number one, and I'm sitting here with Jeff Skaversky, the number one staging area, if someone can turn on Jeff's mic. The staging area where we saw huge celebrations after the Phillies win in 2008, and the last time the Eagles went to the Super Bowl in 2005 after the NFC Championship game. There was a big party right here, and at times it got a little raucous and it did get a little bit out of control, which is why police have gone to some extraordinary security measures here, asking all the merchants to bring in their equipment, to roll down their storefronts, and this is where we got some national attention with police putting Crisco on the power poles, and everybody in the national media got a big kick out of the idea that the Philly cops were, they were calling this the Crisco Bowl, that kind of thing. But as you can see, I don't see anybody climbing the poles here tonight, which is a good sign. Yeah, some kind of fluid, some kind of oil. But it is great to see this party, and you got to feel good for a lot of people. You got to feel good for Mr. Lord. He how do we put this? He saved this franchise from what at the time was a very unpopular ownership of Norman Braman. But you got to give Norman Braman a lot of credit, because he saved the franchise from moving to Phoenix, which is where Leonard Toews wanted to move the franchise when Leonard had his financial problems. So the Eagles stay in Philadelphia thanks to Norman Braman, but that wasn't a very good football team while he was the owner. So Jeff Lurie comes along and says, I can do better, and boy, has he, with 7 national conference championship games? Is that right?
That is correct.
7 or 6?
No, they want to 4 straight.
Right.
So that would be 6.
Okay.
6, I believe.
And now a Super Bowl championship. So you got to feel good for Jeffrey Lurie. You got to feel good for Doug Peterson, whose hiring was mocked across the National Football League and questioned on sports radio here in Philadelphia, but truly mocked across the national sports media and across the National Football League. What experience, what ability does Doug Peterson have to be anything more than kind of a yes man for Howie Roseman and the franchise leadership? Well, guess what? Doug Peterson turns out to be one imaginative coach, and obviously a coach that has the adoration of his players, but it's a situation where he also runs a tight ship. So he turns out to get the last laugh there. You've got to feel good for him. You've got to feel good for Howie Roseman, who was sent to NFL Siberia when Chip Kelly came in here and ran his menagerie. And Howie Roseman decided to stay, even though he was being humiliated, and to see if he could survive the Chip Kelly era. And maybe Howie had some notion that it wasn't going to last very long. And when it did end, he was thrust back into a leadership situation and has put together a roster that manages to survive the kind of adversity that it did, losing 5-6 starters, and they win the Super Bowl, number 52, here tonight. A lot of rank and file fans sometimes don't have a lot of affection for management. They love the players, not so much management, but 2018, this particular edition of the Philadelphia Eagles, you've got to give management an enormous amount of credit.
They ended the curse, and Jeffrey Lurie was so close so many times with Andy Reid. He cuts his losses with Andy, hires Chip, cuts his losses with Chip, and he allows Howie Roseman to regain power. And you think about all the moves that were put into place by Howie Roseman to make this opportunity happen, hiring Doug Peterson, hiring Jim Schwartz, trading away DeMarco Murray, Kiko Alonso, Brian Maxwell, bringing in Carson Wentz, who set this whole thing up, then trading away Sam Bradford, signing Nick Foles, who's now your Super Bowl MVP. If I were to tell you 5 months ago that Nick Foles was going to be your Super Bowl MVP, you would have thought I was crazy. But in the end, he made all the right moves, signing Alshon Jeffrey, LeGarrette Blount, and among the biggest moves, the midseason move to go trade for running back Jay Ajayi, grabs him, and now here they are, Super Bowl champions. And when this team went down, Doug Peterson kept them together. When Carson Wentz went down, they kept them together, held it in check, and this allows these fans in this street the ability to celebrate their first Super Bowl championship tonight. Finally, Super Bowl champions.
You know, Action News reporter Vernon Odom has been in this town for quite a while. 41 years, Vernon. And Vernon knows all too well how starved this city has been for a Super Bowl championship. Vernon is at the Philly Sports Bar in Runnymede, New Jersey. And Vernon, I'm interested in your thoughts tonight.
Well, Jim, it's coming. The crowd's starting to wind down a little bit here, but you can see they're very excited. And they are as passionate as the folks out there on Broad Street tonight, even though the crowd is starting to thin out. They have been with this team through thick and thin. They were on this emotional roller coaster all night long, and through the ups and downs. And they never lost faith. They never lost their belief and their sort of fear-inspired belligerence that the Eagles could win it. And you can see some of the hangers-on out here are starting to get a little rowdy themselves. But my thoughts are that it has been a long time coming. The Eagles come out of the disastrous Chip Kelly era on top. Excuse me, buddy. And
I'm losing my mind. I can't even believe it yet. I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this all my life. This is great, man.
I'm blown away. We knew this would come down to the wire. At the very end, we knew who we were playing against. But guess what? We won. That's all that matters. And guess what? We can finally rest, and we finally got a freaking ring. That's all I can tell you.
I've been Eagles fan since birth. I mean, this is what being a Philadelphia fan is all about. This game was a nail biter, but we pulled it off in the end, and go Eagles!
some of the fans here who were very exuberant tonight, and they never lost faith or broke their faith down as the Eagles fell into the behind in the fourth quarter. They still kept and seemed to have a feeling that somehow the Birds were going to survive this and finally take down Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Jim, those are my thoughts. Tremendous fans who've hung with this team through thick and thin. Now, tonight, they've been vindicated. They're very happy, and they are delighted. The crowd getting a little bit out of control here, Jim. Some of them forgetting it's a family program. So I'll throw it back to you. I've really enjoyed it, and this has been an incredible season. And again, they survived the Chip Valley disaster in big numbers.
Well, it's obvious those Eagles fans enjoyed spending the night with Vernon Odom as well. This is Modell's on Snyder Avenue in South Philadelphia, and they are already selling Eagles Super Bowl swag. And, you know, running a football franchise is a business, obviously, and it's a lucrative business. And when you win, it becomes even more lucrative, because now every Eagles fan who has a little spare change in their pocket, and even some who don't, will want to own all the new Eagles Super Bowl championship gear, which will be on the store shelves, for months to come. Here I am. Where are we going next? Okay. We want to show you what's going on tonight in Hatboro, Montgomery County. Let's look at that. All right, this is Broad and Walnut in Center City, Philadelphia. We will show you Hatboro, Montgomery County as soon as we can, but we were talking about all the new gear that the Eagles are going to be able to sell. I want to show you. Can I show you? Can we come back into the studio here for a second? Can I show it to you? Here we go. All right. Maybe you can zoom in a little bit. This is the first official Eagles Super Bowl champion hat. It's pretty nice, don't you think?
It's starting to sink in. The Eagles won.
Yeah, guess
it's
what?
It's starting to sink in. They actually did it.
And here is my son.
Hot off the presses.
My sons would love to
Your
have
sons and sons in this community, Delaware, and the entire Delaware Valley, are going to be buying a lot of these. And as you're talking about a business, finally, a championship, a Super Bowl championship for this team. And what they did is so rare. Remember, they were a losing franchise last year, 7-9. So here we are, Super Bowl champions tonight. Some swag in the studio.
Indeed. We're going to go live to Action News reporter Wendy Saltzman in Manayunk at Pitcher's Pub. Wendy, what's going on there?
Well, Jim, you know, they say that the Eagles fans are the best, and I am here to tell you that they are. They are the most loyal, and we are here in Eagles country. We're actually in Manayunk, but we are above the streets here. Now, you can see the crowd is really just about an hour ago. There were thousands and thousands of people who poured out onto these streets for blocks, so many that we couldn't even see how far that went. They were cheering for Foles. You hear them right now saying the fight song, but they were cheering for that man who almost left the NFL, who now really is a hero for this city. And we saw every range of emotions, from people crying, you see them right now elated. And what we really realized here about the Super Bowl here is how it brought so many people in Philadelphia together. It didn't matter what you had in common or didn't before, but everybody here has just been united in so much excitement of this historical moment. And so far in Manayunk, it's actually been really peaceful, which has been great to see. We did not have anything here that seemed to be, a problem at all. Nobody overturning cars, and there was a huge police presence. And I think what we really saw here is that this was the moment that so many people really hoped for. I think there was a part of disbelief that it actually happened. But, here in Manayunk, we're seeing people that here are heading home again. We just had thousands of people out on the streets. I think now it's really sinking in. Tomorrow morning, again, everybody's going to wake up and remember that the Eagles are the Super Bowl champions. Jim?
Thank you, Wendy. Let's go back out to the city of and Brian Taff and Shari Williams give us an idea of what the situation is right there outside the stadium. Are there still fans? Are there still Eagles fans around? Or has everybody figured out how to get back to the hotel?
Yeah, I think they're all, a lot of them are en route. I don't want to say back to the hotel. I think they're probably going to stop at a bar
in
or
the
two
streets or have a
on the way.
cocktail. Yes.
But yes, there are a few fans lingering here, and frankly, they're lingering to reflect and hug each other.
Yeah, a
And
lot of hugging.
It's really been so wonderful
Like
to watch
total
this.
strangers.
And a lot of people have been hugging us too.
Yes,
and it makes
they
us
have.
very, very happy.
You know, it's been just a moment of joy. We've seen people crying, and we've seen people just run up to total strangers, including us.
Yeah.
Although they say, we've seen you, we're so glad to see Action News here. We're glad to be here to share in this moment because, I mean, it's historic. And yes, Jim, there are still fans milling around, taking photos with the field in the background as the national and local media is still on the field right now.
Speaking of the field, I want to tell you something. Go Eagles, go! I want to show you something. The moment that sent this place crazy. Take a look. That was the moment as photographed by Mike McCloskey, our photographer, who snapped that moment for posterity, and you could see the fans just going nuts when the clock ticked down to 0.
0-0, the place just went wild. People began jumping up and down. They were taking pictures. They were screaming to the tops of their lungs, and the confetti then began to come down. It was just a sea of green and silver and white coming from the ceiling there, and people on their feet just soaking this in. And again, seeing other Eagles fans and just getting excited, high fives all around, and hugs as well there in the stadium when it was official. Eagles winning tonight.
It was absolutely nuts. All right, hey, come on back out live. I want to break the rules of television here, okay? Usually we have 3 walls. I want to break down the 4th wall here. Nick, take the camera for a second, okay? There's a lot of Eagles fans in this building. I can tell you there's probably none bigger than... Let him take the camera. None bigger than this guy, Mike McCloskey, who's been running the camera for us all week long. Mike, I didn't tell you we were going to do this. You've been emotional all night long. We love you, bud. You've been working so hard. Tell us why this is so special for you.
No. I wish I was with my family. I know how much it means to them. But this is everything to the city. I grew up, I live and die by the city. This is everything. It really is.
Well, we want to let you share this with your friends and family back home because I'm telling you, this guy's been wearing Eagles gear all week long. The hat, this jersey, I think this is the lucky jersey, my friend. And he's been texting with his buddies tonight, as we all have back in Philadelphia, just trying to, we're here and we got to see it. We feel very blessed that we got to be here in this moment. But trust me, all 3 of us wish we were back there in Philly celebrating with you tonight.
It's just wonderful.
The party here is over. It all starts back there tonight.
Can't wait to get back.
Yeah.
Speechless. This guy has been rooting for his team all week, but we know it hits you here in the heart. We know it does, Mike.
Don't be mad at me for doing that, but I wanted to give you your moment in the sunshine. Mike, this guy's a fantastic. He's been working his tail off all week long, and I wanted to give him that moment because, boy, he's been. Like
it's
so
hard
many
for
fans.
him. You're working the game, but this is your city.
Yeah.
It's our city. This is our team, and so you're working, but you're so connected to what's taking place on that field.
Yeah. All right, Jim. As you can see, it's largely empty now. The fans have flown, except for these guys.
When's the parade? Did they announce it yet?
Later this week. That's all we know.
Not official. We're waiting.
That's right.
See you guys at the parade.
See you there.
All right, Jim, back to you in Philly.
Hey, Brian and Shari, we heard from broadcasters on the game broadcast earlier that it seemed like an Eagles crowd. And of course, Eagles fans want to think that there were more Eagles fans than there were Patriots fans. You guys have the goods. You know exactly what that situation was like. So give us an accurate picture. Were there more Eagles fans? And if so, how many more Eagles fans?
I want to show you something, okay? This is the credential that they give us to get in the building. And when they told me that this would get us in the building. I was under the impression we were going to be in a media room watching television with no view of the actual field itself. Guess where we got?
We were right there.
Right there in front with a
Yeah.
spectacular view of the field to watch the game with the fans. And I can tell you unequivocally, this place was dominated by Eagles fans tonight. I want to say 75%, 25%, because every time the Eagles made a play, this place went nuts. And every time the Patriots made a play, which was less often, it was not nearly as significant. So, yeah, absolutely true.
Right. I would say without a doubt, this was the Eagles' house tonight. It was like a home game.
Yeah.
Old hat to
they came big for this
right.
team.
Old hat to New England's fans. So that's the way it goes, guys. Let's go to Center City, Philadelphia. And we go to Action News reporter Christy Aletto at Broad and Walnut. Christy, what's going on there?
Well, Jim, the party is still going very strong. And I say this loosely, that the crowd is also kind of thinned out a little bit, only in the fact that people can kind of walk through it now, but still massive, massive crowds here at Broad and Walnut. I think it actually might be an all-nighter. People just celebrating with one another, this shared experience of making history, having their team go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. And you can see from our chopper, it appears that the crowd kind of spans several blocks from City Hall all the way south of Walnut. Clearly, this is the place to be in Center City. And again, just a shared experience for many people who have waited decades, if not a lifetime, to see this come to fruition. Every couple of seconds, we see fireworks shoot up, followed by a thunderous roar, and then, fans will break out into an Eagles chant, which has obviously been the anthem on city streets all weekend. Now, there is a heavy police presence here. The surrounding roads around this intersection have been blocked off all evening to give people a safe space and a chance to celebrate. Obviously, you can see the barricades are up, some of them around some of the businesses to protect those businesses. The light poles were greased up earlier today to keep people from scaling them. And then, of course, we saw on Walnut Street the last time we checked in with you that some people had unfortunately flipped a car on its side. The police are blocking that car to make sure that nobody tries to continue doing anything reckless. But for the most part, we're seeing some well-mannered debauchery here at this intersection. But they are asking people to be responsible as they celebrate. But wow, what a great, beautiful sight. Just people cheering, celebrating, just enjoying the moment, because this is not something that happens every day. Jim, back to you.
In fact, it doesn't happen. It happens once every 58 years. That was the last time the Eagles won a National Football League championship, and of course their first Super Bowl, the great NFL championship of 1960 and now 2018. It has been a while in between championships, but maybe it won't be nearly as long in between this one and the next one. In fact, you're darn right it won't be. Jeff Skversky.
Doug Peterson said before this Super Bowl that he envisions that this could be a dynasty setup. Remember how many guys you have coming back. Carson Wentz expects to be healthy for week one. He believes they are built to be a dynasty, and perhaps that will be the case coming back next year with the majority of your entire team.
Deuces Rogers still on the turf at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Let's bring you in, Deuces. And do you have yet a timetable as to, well, let me ask you it this way. Are the Eagles still in the building? Have they gone back to the hotel, or are they still there? And do you know what time they're going to be flying back to Philadelphia?
I do not know what time they're going to be flying back to Philadelphia. I can tell you they haven't flown back yet because we still see a few players still on the field, still hanging out, still partying, still hanging out with their families. In terms of what Jeff said about this team perhaps being a dynasty, I agree. This certainly can be. You've got a good, talented young quarterback. It all depends on how he comes back. You've got a solid defense. Howie Roseman has already locked up a couple of key pieces in Tim Jernigan, Alshon Jeffrey, guys getting new contracts, Brandon Graham. So we shall see. Let's talk a little bit about Doug Peterson. Here's a crazy stat. The Eagles attempted fourth down conversions. Only one other team attempted more. They were second in the NFL in terms of attempting fourth down conversions. They were third in the NFL in terms of converting fourth down conversions. Tonight, 2 for 2. Both were key. One was a Zach Ertz fourth down conversion in the fourth quarter. But at the end of the second quarter, at the very end of the first half, on fourth down, fourth and goal, he went with that Trey Burton pass to Nick Foles. That was a key play for the Eagles. Once again, a play that probably surprised Bill Belichick and the Patriots. I spoke with right tackle Lane Johnson one-on-one a little bit after this game about this offense that hung 41 points on the now former Super Bowl champion Patriots.
I knew that their defensive line couldn't stop us. I could tell on tape. And when we got here, man, it was just really about being confident and saying who we are.
The touchdown that Nick Foles caught. You guys ran that in practice?
Yeah, that was actually, I'm not sure if it was a New England play. We saw it somewhere else. I think it was ran on New England, so, hey.
What kind of guts does it take to call that in the Super Bowl?
I was waiting on it. I thought he was going to call it, and soon enough he came in the huddle. I said, oh, here we go. And executed well. Trey threw a good ball, and I guess Foles has a receiving touchdown in the Super Bowl.
How are you going to celebrate this? How are you going to celebrate? Oh, wait a second. Wait, Bud Light.
Bud Light and I are going to celebrate, and the city of Philadelphia is going to celebrate on us. So
they're going to come through?
If they don't, I'm coming through, so we'll see what happens.
Beer for everybody.
Beer for everybody.
Love you, man. Congratulations. Thanks. I cannot imagine what that tab might look like. Here's a shot of MVP Nick Foles, a bit emotional after this victory. Foles, what a story. Had that great 2013 season with Chip Kelly, then got traded to the St. Louis Rams, ended up with the Kansas City Chiefs, thought about getting out of football. But the Eagles decided to sign him as a backup, and he said that he talked with his wife. It was the only place he wanted to be. He comes as a backup, doesn't play at all in the preseason, had an elbow injury, doesn't play at all during the regular season until that game at the LA Rams where Carson Wentz went down, and of course Nick Foles played up and down at the end of the regular season, but in the playoffs got hot, had a great NFC Championship game against Minnesota and a phenomenal game tonight against the New England Patriots. Let's hear now from Vice President Joe Biden, a huge Eagles fan. He was excited about the win.
Gigantic. And by the way, it's big for the whole Delaware Valley.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, Delaware, New Jersey, South Jersey, Camden. I mean, this is, you know, they talk about New England being a regional team. Well, the Eagles are a regional team, for God's sake. 10 million people in that valley. And I tell you what, they're happy tonight, man.
What do you say to those people back there? What do you think it's like back there?
What I say now is I love being here for the game. I wish I could transport myself there right now.
Everyone in the Delaware Valley celebrating this victory. Jim, I got the information that you wanted. The Eagles will not leave here until noontime Eastern tomorrow. So go ahead and do the math. It's about a 2.5, 3-hour flight from Minneapolis to Philadelphia, so you can figure out when they might land in Philly. The winning head coach, that would be Doug Peterson, and the MVP, that would be Nick Foles, have a press conference in the morning here in Minnesota. Jim, back to you.
Deuces Rogers, and thank you so much for your work all week with Jamie Apodi. It's just been spectacular. You gave us and all of the viewers here in the tri-state area just wonderful coverage, and we thank you for your service, sir.
It's been fun.
Now we've got a parade. Now we've got a parade to do. At somewhere along the line, sometime this week.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Thank you, Deuces. We're going to go back to Walter Perez at the draft course up near Temple University. Hey, Walter.
Jim, we left the draft course. We're outside now. What do you guys think about being world champion? What do you think about that? Jim, the crowd, it started here on Wall Street. They went Bush here, and then they came back. So at this point, they gathered around where we are here, live outside the draft course. And I hope you can hear me because I can't hear anything. Please don't touch my head. So overall, the crowd's been pretty tame. It's been very exuberant. They've been traveling around the area, going from location to location, and now they're gathering in front of me. Now, hopefully, I can hold on to the microphone a little bit longer because someone's yanking on it. But overall, the crowd's been... It's okay, it's okay. Overall, the crowd's been... Please stop that, please. All right, Jim, I'll send it back.
All right, time to leave that location and go to Allie Gorman, who is at Dick's Sporting Goods in King of Prussia, and have the customers already started coming in, Allie?
Oh my goodness, Jim, yes, when we came over here just about 10 minutes after the game ended, and yes, people were literally running in from the parking lot to pick up their gear, their shirts here. Eagles Super Bowl champions. What do you guys think? What are you picking up?
We're great. We're picking up some hoodies. We're picking up some pennants. We're so excited. We're finally Super Bowl champs. It doesn't feel real at all right now.
How about that game? What did you think?
Amazing game. Nicky Foles, he's a savior. I don't know what's going to happen next year, but this is a moment that I want to live in forever. It's amazing.
What are you getting out here, sir?
We're going to get some T-shirts. We've been a season ticket holder for 31 years. Go Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
I think that Eagles chant has pretty much been on repeat throughout the night. And guys, it was like a party in here because they had the music blaring, everybody's chanting. I can tell you though, the line is not short. I think it was taking about an hour for people to get through, to get their gear. And of course they had long lists of people to buy for. People were coming and getting like 20 different t-shirts so they could get them for all their friends and family. And they're going to be open here for a while. People getting their championship gear finally. That's the latest here. We're live in King of Prussia. Allie Gorman, Channel 6 Action News. Jim?
You know, stores are open at this hour usually on Black Friday, but tonight it's Green Sunday,
it feels like
or
Black
Green
Friday.
Green Monday. Green Sunday, Green Monday. Thank you, Allie, very much. We're going to go back to Mayfair, back to Frankfurt and Kottman, and Action News reporter Dan Cuellar. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Jim, the celebration continues here at Frankfurt and Kottman, and while the crowd is still large, it's beginning to thin down, I guess, with people realizing they do have to go to work tomorrow, some kids do have to go to school, et cetera, and besides, they have a parade to get ready for now, so maybe they'll save some of the celebrating for a little later on. As you can see, this crowd earlier tonight, the whole street was packed. There were easily a good 25,000 people out here earlier this evening. They're still very exuberant, the people who are still here, and they might be out here for a long time to come yet. But there are signs now that some people realize that they have to go to work, etc. And listen to this crowd, Jim.
I have a hunch they know when the camera's on them because they get just a little more exercised and enthusiastic than they were. But that is sheer Philadelphia happiness right there. You know, I think back to the 700 level at Veterans Stadium. The 700 level has been dispersed a little bit when the Eagles moved to the link, but back at the Vet, when you talked about the 700 level, you knew exactly what and whom you were talking about. And tonight, those 700 level guys, they are happier than almost anyone else. And we're thinking of them tonight. I sat up there more than a few times.
My first ever Eagles
in my
game.
day. In my
First
day.
ever Eagles game as a kid was at Veterans Stadium, and you're wondering when is the year going to be the year for your Philadelphia Eagles, and this the most unlikely year, especially when Carson Wentz went down back in December. And to think that the Eagles fans would be celebrating a Super Bowl championship in the streets of Philadelphia tonight is just absolutely remarkable. This city has been dying for this, starving for this, waiting for this opportunity forever. And this fan base deserves it. They've been through so much, so many hardships, so many tough seasons, injuries, disappointments, you name it. Tonight, it is all worth it. Eagles are champions.
We're going back to reporter Christy Aletto at Broad and Walnut in Center City, Philadelphia. Hello, Christy. Any move for the crowd to start going home and get ready for the work week, or are they still there in force?
The party is still going very strong. Now, I will say that the crowd has thinned out considerably since the game first ended, but as you can see, massive crowds here still at Broad and Walnut. This is what a championship city looks like, and every now and then, like we said earlier, fireworks will go up, cheers will start happening, people break out in the Eagles fight song, the Eagles chant, and you just get these continuous thunderous thunderous roars out here at this intersection. We've even seen police officers, while they are trying to make sure that people are celebrating safely, they're even enjoying the crowd, dancing, celebrating in the street with a lot of these people out here, because this is a shared experience. The city has been waiting for this for so long, and it is finally here. But again, you're seeing some movement a little bit. People can walk through the crowds a little bit easier than, a couple hours ago, but we still have some very massive crowds of people celebrating and just trying to take in this moment and savor this moment of actually being Super Bowl champions. They are a Super Bowl champion city here, and this is the place to party in Center City if you are down here, Broad and Walnut. Jim, back to you.
Thank you, Christy. There was a lot on the line for some Eagles fans tonight, some of whom had some hefty wagers weighing on the final score. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney launched the Battle of the Rockies over the outcome of the game. Now the statue of boxer Rocky Marciano in Brockton, Massachusetts will wear the Eagles green. Governor Charlie Baker will now send Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf a host of local foods from Massachusetts, and directors from a coalition of New England zoos will have to clean out animal exhibits while wearing Eagles jerseys. And the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston will now have to send a portrait of a beloved matriarch of the American Revolution to the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Let's take a look at some fireworks going off tonight in Center City, Philadelphia. Those are two beautiful paintings, but I'd rather see some fireworks if we can get to them. Well, there we go. Some green fireworks, of course, being launched from Center City, Philadelphia. Hopefully no one gets hurt by all of that. But you've got to know that most people there enjoyed it. Right up against the backdrop of Philadelphia City Hall within the canyons of skyscrapers. This was video that we showed you a while ago with Philadelphia police vehicles trying to carve that path through the dense crowd at Broad and Walnut. I don't know if it was terribly successful, and of course one exuberant Eagles fan actually stood on top of one of the police vans. That's not exactly what the police had in mind. Let's listen to Nick Foles as he talked about tonight's game.
Foles moves to the right. It goes directly to Clement. Clement reverses it, and the pass goes into the end zone.
To Nick Foles.
It's a touchdown by Nick Foles.
Action News Sports Sunday, sponsored by Audi. Challenge all givens.
You never really know what it's going to be like when you're going to a Super Bowl. I've never been here before, so there are normal nerves. You got butterflies. I mean, it's a big game. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than this. So, but I felt good. I felt calm. I think the big thing that helped me was knowing that I didn't have to be Superman. I have amazing teammates, amazing coaches around me, and all I had to do was just go play as hard as I could and play for one another, play for those guys. And, not look at the scoreboard, not look at the time, just go out there and play. Don't worry about it. And, came away with a victory.
Matt, is there anything to toss to?
Cool.
Hi, we're up.
We're back. Just checking the latest stats on my phone. So
wow.
What do you make of what we saw tonight, Jimmy?
I don't know. It's amazing because I think guys are still trying to take this all in and process what just happened. And I was in the locker room actually talking to Howie Roseman, and he said, hey, this is for Philly. We knew we could do it. I pointed out they were 7-9 last year, and I pointed out they had a Pro Bowl roster on IR. And he said they never gave up. And that's the case. It was just really surreal to see the Lombardi Trophy standing there and Eagles players and owners holding it.
What a great job he did undoing the mess that was left behind by Chip Kelly. 2 turning over the roster, basically. And then he spent some money in free agency. Went out and got 2 talented wide receivers, and Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. Both came up with some huge catches tonight. Jeffrey was outstanding the first half of this game. He shored up the defensive line by going out and getting Tim Jernigan. Howie Roseman deserves a lot of credit, as does Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson is... The fact that he wasn't the coach of the year is a travesty. He clearly is now. It doesn't matter. He won the ultimate prize.
Yeah, he got the better hardware.
I think he's okay with that. This guy, I mean, the trick plays, the in-game management, the guts. Have you ever seen a coach with more guts?
Yeah, I joke. Doug Peterson's like the guy at the blackjack table that every time he gets 16, he hits and he gets a 5. I mean, he just every time he gambles, he comes out golden, and it's been tremendous to see. But this team, you talk about the head coach. All week we were talking to the players about they love Doug Peterson. I had some players tonight telling me, I think it was Jalen Mills was telling me that Doug's not a guy that's yelling at players. I mean, some coaches are hard-nosed coaches, so to speak. But Doug's the kind of guy that coaches with love, and these guys love him, and they love each other, and they play for each other.
Well, some of my favorite moments on the field was just the pure emotion. We saw guys, Kenyon Barner, tears streaming down his face, and what I also liked was the generations of Eagles that this moment bridged. Our own Brian Westbrook and Brian Dawkins were embracing. Brian Dawkins actually picked Westbrook up. We'll have to show you that a little bit later, and was throwing him up in the air. We did it finally. John Dornbos was back here. I got a chance to talk to him. Here's a guy who was traded away in the middle of the season, the trade that saved his life and caught his heart ailment. And he managed to find his way on the trophy podium, which was hilarious. It's incredible how many people have wanted this win for so long.
Along those lines, Brian and I, at one point, we were interviewing Jernigan and Vinny Curry, and Vinny kept saying this was for the 04 team. And there's a connection. And the Eagles are one of those teams where you're once an Eagle, always an Eagle. Like the alumni of the Eagle, they still come around. And it was almost as if this team, as Vinny said, they wanted to win for themselves, obviously, but they kind of wanted to let that 04 team off the hook.
How about the 1980 team? We got a text just a few moments ago from our buddy Jaws, who said, "I told you, stone cold lock."
Lead pipe block,
Lead pipe block. He was right. He was right.
Hey guys,
it's awesome to see. So
Jamie and Deuces,
celebrating this win.
Yes.
Hi, it's Jim.
Hi.
Big article in the New York Times today about how the Eagles use analytics and that they are in the forefront of the National Football League with the way they use statistics to determine plays to call, plays to run, and this whole thing about Doug Peterson being aggressive on 4th down that we've been talking about all year and that the national media has been talking about all year. The article gave specific numbers and percentages, which shows very clearly that you, over the course of a season, are better off being aggressive on 4th down than either going for field goals or necessarily punting the ball.
Sure worked tonight. He was 2 for 2.
He was 2 for 2 for tonight, and he was very, very successful during the regular season. That's to give Chip a little bit of credit. That was something that Chip was doing a little bit of when he was here, and it's starting to get into the NFL. Not every team is embracing it the same way in Moneyball and baseball. 10, 15 years ago, not everybody was embracing the analytics, and now every single team is jumping on board. The Eagles are at the forefront in the NFL, and it certainly has worked out for them.
I think, though, as fans, because we all are fans, I think I wish I had those numbers with me, because every time he goes for it on 4th down, my stomach drops. I don't have the numbers. I wish I had them in front of me because that would make me feel better.
Well, yeah, it's funny. A lot of fans are like, go for it. If it doesn't work, they're like, no, you shouldn't have gone for it. It's easy to be, the Monday morning quarterback. But he's got the magic touch. But it's not just about the analytics. You have to have the players that can pull off what you're trying to do. And this season, he has had those players, and they've been very successful with it. And as you mentioned, twice tonight they went for it on 4th down, both in key moments. One of them they got a touchdown out of on a trick play.
Because that was something you draw up on a 4th down, for sure. You definitely draw up a toss to your emergency quarterback and then send your quarterback into the end zone to catch a touchdown pass
By
in
the
the
way,
Super Bowl.
Trey Burton, little known fact, he was a quarterback at the University of Florida. He can throw the rock.
Apparently.
Nick Foles said that they ran this, and I talked to a couple players about this, they ran this in practice, and it worked perfectly in practice. Foles said his key was to make it seem like he was doing nothing. and then then catch the ball. You saw the Patriots tried that a play similar to that where they tried to throw it to Tom Brady, but Brady apparently doesn't have the hands of a Nick Foles.
There's my credit to Doug Peterson, though. The analytics can say go for it on fourth down. They didn't say to do that.
I'd love to see the numbers behind that, Jim.
I don't know if it was your impression. I thought Brady short-armed that attempted reception a little bit. Maybe he was afraid of hurting his hand, which, with all the injury that came to his hand with the stitches.
When he tried to catch the pass?
But it looked like he short-armed that a little bit. Absolutely. Anyway, thank you guys very much. I know you still got work to do. We will see you when you get back to Philadelphia. You'll be back at about 7 a.m., 8 a.m., something like that?
I will actually be live at the press conference tomorrow morning.
She's staying. She loves Minnesota so much, she's staying.
9:30 a.m. I will be live with our Super Bowl winning head coach, Doug Peterson, and the Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles. So I'm not going anywhere because I don't want this to end.
I've got a flight in about 9 hours. I'm not sure if I'm scheduled to be on the set tomorrow at 6. We're still negotiating that.
And Nick Foles is going to go straight from that press conference to Disney World.
Yeah.
You haven't negotiated it with me. You be here. You be here. There's no question about it.
I might be wearing the same clothes, and I may not.
That's quite all right.
Not shaved, but
no shower, same clothes. It's okay. All right, Deuces, Jamie, thank you so much. Let's go to John Rawlins at Frankfurt and Kottman. John, it looks like things are settling down just a little bit.
A bit quieting down. I think that's probably pretty safe to say. There's still plenty of people here, and if they notice that you're broadcasting, they'll be glad to come over and do an Eagles chant for you. But it has been for the most part, pretty happy crowd. Let's pan over to our right, your right, my left, and you will see this is the intersection of Frankfurt and Kottman. It has, compared to pictures we've shown you earlier, a much smaller crowd than there was here even 30 minutes ago. People are, because it's cold, because they've been partying for about 2.5 hours, many people have headed for home. It's been a pretty nice crowd, as I say. They've been dancing in the streets. There were some fireworks, but they were also throwing beach balls back and forth at one time. Lots of flags. We saw parents who brought their small kids in. There we go. Hi, how you doing? No, we're here. We're here. How are you doing? You enjoy this evening?
It's awesome.
It's awesome?
It's awesome. The Eagles won.
That's awesome.
It doesn't get any better.
It doesn't get any better?
No. It's not a
As I said, you don't have to go far to get people to give you a chant. But it really is. It's been a wonderful evening. People have really loved it. Been very emotional about it, and have had a great time. And I'm sure we could probably get them to do us a chant. Can you do us a chant?
Yes, we can do a chant. Are you ready?
Can you do a chant?
We're going to do a chant.
Come on, you've been waiting.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you, guys. Let's go to Wendy Saltzman in Manayunk tonight. Wendy.
Hi, Jim. Well, tonight has been a very emotional evening for so many people. We were in a bar earlier, and there were people, again, doing that Eagles chant, and so many people just so proud of what happened here tonight for the city. But in Manayunk, now everybody has gone to bed. So the streets here are clear. We've got a couple of cops that are just hanging out. They came by around a few hours before the end of the game, and then about 2 minutes before, they closed down the streets here on Main Street, Manayunk, to make sure that the people had a place to come together and rally and celebrate what happened here tonight. And we had the streets full of thousands and thousands of people, as far as we could see, who were really out here celebrating, we're proud to say, very peacefully. And I think it really did show us that these Eagles fans are some of the best fans that we have, and we think we're going to have some really tired people tomorrow. But here in Manayunk, pretty quiet now, Jim, and everybody going home so they can wake up tomorrow and at that point celebrate the big win all over again. We're waiting to find out when the parade is going to be, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be out celebrating later this week. Jim?
You think? Absolutely. Wendy Saltzman. Dan Cuellar, Dan Cuellar back in Mayfair. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Jim, it's for the most part a wonderful crowd here at Frankfurt and Kottman. It is beginning to die down. There's still a good crowd, but for the most part, a lot of people have left, realizing there's responsibilities tomorrow, many of them having to go back to work, etc. But it's been quite a wonderful night here in Mayfair. A lot of celebrations, a lot of people so happy, something they've been waiting. We see police now that are starting to come in, kind of trying to thin the crowd down, because obviously people in homes, they want to try to get some sleep, I guess. But the police are moving in now, trying to break up this crowd, telling everybody it's time to go home. But it's been a wonderful night, a great night for Philadelphia and the Eagles fans tonight, Jim.
Thank you, Dan. Let's go back to Broad and Walnut and Action News reporter Christy Aletto. Christy, great job tonight.
Thank you, Jim. And we can see asphalt now, meaning that the crowds are starting to thin out just a little bit. People can move through, which earlier, just a couple hours ago, that was not the case. The party's still going a little strong here at Broad and Walnut, but clearly this is the place to be in Center City. And wow, what a shared experience for all of these people tonight. Even some of the police that have been here, because it's a heavy police presence here, have been joining in with the jubilant crowds, celebrating because their team finally Super Bowl champions. Now, we know that, again, heavy police presence, barricades, they grease the poles. We did see a couple of knuckleheads trying to scale those light poles. And unfortunately, there was that incident on Walnut in front of the Bellevue with that car that was partially flipped over. But again, I would say for the most part, some well-mannered debauchery, which, yes, it is an oxymoron, but a lot of celebrations here and just people really savoring the moment this evening / this morning. Jim, back to you.
Thank you, Christy. We're going to be talking a lot of football throughout the course of this week, looking back on this game, analyzing every move. But we've got a parade coming up. We've got the Eagles' return. You know there are going to be a lot of people out at the airport.
Can you imagine that scene? To greet them back. Nobody's going to be going to work tomorrow.
Well, we better have the kids go to school tomorrow. That's all I know. So we're going to be talking about, football, but this will be a night that all of us, millions of Eagles fans will not only remember, but it will be a soft spot for us for as long as we live.
This city bleeds green, and it always has bled green. And for this franchise, starving for that first Super Bowl title, so many disappointments, so many times coming up short, to finally do it with this team. Remember, losing Carson Wentz, no one believed in the Birds except for the people in that locker room. They relished in that underdog role, and here they are, top dogs in the NFL, Super Bowl champs. And as you said earlier, to say that over and over again, Super Bowl champs, it gives Eagles fans, it gives me chills growing up here in this city. It gives you chills, goosebumps to think that the Eagles are actually champions of the world tonight. We've waited a long time for this.
Someone else I'm thinking about, Brian Dawkins, who was elected to the NFL Hall of Fame last night.
Along with Terrell Owens.
Along with Terrell Owens. But Terrell Owens was here for a couple of years, and he did help us get to a Super Bowl that we didn't win. But Brian Dawkins, a whole different kind of Eagle.
Brian Dawkins told Jamie Apodi last night that this weekend would be electric. He was feeling it and was B-Doc Weapon X oh so right, getting into the Hall of Fame and getting the Eagles that first Super Bowl title. He's been a part of this team, helping guys on and off the field.
Well, the Eagles will be back tomorrow afternoon. There will be a news conference in the morning, again with Doug Peterson and Nick Foles. I wouldn't be surprised if there might be a few other individuals of Eagles note at that news conference as well, but we will be covering that with Jamie Apodi. Then the Eagles return, and we will have information, we think, tomorrow about parade. Obviously, when we do get that information, we will put it on the air and put it online within a minute of getting it. So you'll have that information, and we'll, put a notice. Well, a tweet, of course.
A few tweets?
A few tweets, but we'll make sure that you know about it as soon as we get that information about the parade. It has been fun for us here tonight. First, we got to watch a pretty good football game and then bring you all kinds of reaction and the aftermath of Super Bowl 52. The Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champs on this night. Quite a night. For the entire Action News team, I'm Jim Gardner. Good night.